All right, high income copywriters. Number one, make sure you are commenting in Discord because I'm about to disable the chat here in Zoom. All right, there we go. So make sure you are chatting in Discord because that is where our class chat is. All right. Now, mic check already done. Type a yes in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Yes, yes. Okay, good, good. Now, my name is Dana Brasser, your community manager, and I want to know, how have your assignments been going? Someone says great. A lot of great. Ooh, I see someone says deep. That's right. Now, I've seen a lot of you post your letter to your younger self within the Facebook group. I see you're posting videos in there. I see you're posting your aha moments, your takeaways. And I just want to say great job and well done. Now, I even noticed some of you are behind with your assignments. And I just want to say that that's okay. Everyone has a different tempo or rhythm. And just make sure that you are not doing it all at once. Just make sure that you're giving yourself that time to go through everything. All right? Okay. Now, also the attendance rate from last class was pretty good, but I think we can do even better, right? So make sure you tag your brothers and sisters in the comment within Discord and make sure they are here so we get above 80% for the bonus class. And if you don't know the attendance from last class, then make sure you go over to the Facebook group because it was, like I said, pretty good. All right. Now, without further ado, let me bring on a very important person. Now, some of you already know him as the Sarge. He's been with Dan for over 5 years and has been one of Sifu's longest mentees and has had many diverse projects and departments. So HIC family, let's get up that energy and let's welcome to the call, Desmond Soon.
High income copywriters. I'm a copywriter. I help sell more products and raise more revenue for people like you. Well done if you have completed your assignments. I noticed some of you even wrote that your finger muscles, your hand muscles were hurting. I think I started learning to write with my left hand because my right hand just couldn't hold a pen anymore after copying so many of Alan Jack's letters. And I saw someone post earlier on about the CIB was one of the hardest to copy as well too. Well done if you have already completed your assignments. Now I know that this evening we're about to get started. This is class 3. In the previous classes, Sifu already showed you and gave you some ideas. I hope you had some breakthrough moments. If you had some breakthrough moments, type in the chat and say, I did. Type in the chat. Now those breakthrough moments, as good as they are, you want to go back, reflect on them, because every single time I've been with Sifu, you'll notice I'm on every single class. I've been with Sifu for so many years, and yet every single time I attend, I empty my cup. I enter with a notepad, pen, and I take copious notes. And you come over and over and over again until you master. You master it like Kung Fu. You keep practicing and practicing and practicing. Now, do I have your permission to ask you, are you willing to do that? Is that something that you are willing to do? You're not expecting to get rich quick, though some of you may. Some of you may have some natural abilities already and you may have been picking it up fairly quickly. Well done. But some of you, you might be like me, where it was like pulling teeth. And then bit by bit, I can tell you I'm excited. I don't know about you, but I'm excited because I'm stacking on top of my high income skills just like you. I'm here in the trenches with each and every one of you. So I do not want to deprive you of this very, very important few hours that we have with our mentor to learn from him the way he thinks strategically as a copywriter, as a marketer, and he's always thinking about your best interest. So help me bring to the stage with as much enthusiasm, do it safely if you're driving, as much enthusiasm, wake up the neighbors, get the dogs barking, make the babies chime out and Google and cry with joy as you make as much noise to bring to the stage our mentor, your mentor, Sifu Dan Locke.
What was that? An exhibition? We need emotional content. Try again. I said emotional content, not anger. Now try again with me. Good. Now, how do you feel? Don't think, feel. It's like a finger pointing away to the moon. Don't concentrate on the finger or you'll miss all that heavenly glory. Bruce Lee. So what have you learned from watching that clip? What does it mean to have emotional content? Put in the chat. Does that mean we only use the mechanics? We use the techniques when we write? How do we inject emotional content when we write any kind of sales copy? In order to do that, we have to get in touch with something much deeper within ourselves. This is why Sifu said, if you can't cry, you can't persuade. Because if you're not in touch with your own feelings, how are you going to move someone else's feelings? How are you going to move someone emotionally? You've got no emotions. If you're like a robot, if you shut down your emotions or you have a wall, right? You're not willing to be vulnerable. You're not willing to have empathy. You're not willing to feel. Easy to teach you the mechanics of copywriting. Headline, bullets, guarantee, opening paragraphs. But once you learn all of that, now what? Exactly like the video. Exactly like the young kid. He's going through the motions just like you will once you learn the mechanics. You're writing the headline, but it just doesn't feel right because it doesn't feel it's you. It doesn't feel, it's not flowing. We need to be relaxed. So we need emotional content. Emotional content. So module number 3, we are going to talk about how to get clients. The client getting system. I'm going to give you a system, not just some strategies. I'm going to give you a step-by-step system on how to get your first cooperating client in 30 days or less. In fact, you will be overwhelmed. I promise you, by the end of tonight's class, there are so many strategies. You're not so sure which one to do first. You'll be like, oh, Sifu, should I do this one? I want to do that one. Or what should I do that one? I'm not so sure. Or should I do all of them? You will be overwhelmed. So put in a chat and say, I am ready to be overwhelmed. And when you feel overwhelmed, what do we do as a high-income copywriter? We celebrate. It means we're growing. When you're hand copying those sales letters, when you feel that your fingers kind of hurt and your wrist, good. It means you are growing. You're learning something new. You're learning how to persuade using nothing more than the power of your pen, your keyboards. How powerful is that? Now, most beginners, most beginning copywriters, and type in the chat if you are asking some of these questions. Most beginning copywriters, when they learn copywriting, when they want to go out there and get a gig and get a client, they will ask themselves these questions. How do I make a sale, right? How do I get clients? What do I need to do? How do I get clients, right? And how can I make some money today? Now, it's very, very normal to ask these questions. Yes, very normal, right? You're just getting started. You're brand new. or you've only been doing this for a short period of time. That's okay. It is not your fault. However, these are beginner questions. Beginner questions. So as a beginner, asking these questions, perfectly okay, perfectly fine. You're new. Okay. But a better question as you evolve, becoming a high income copywriter, a much better question is, how can I structure my business in such a way that high paying clients keep finding me? How can I structure my business in such a way that high paying clients keep finding me? The quality of your answer will be determined by the quality of your question. Most people have lousy lives because they ask lousy questions. Do you understand? You get lousy answers, right? So those questions, can you see by asking a different set of questions, your mind thinks in a very different way. It forces you to come up with different answers. Now, just looking at those two questions as a copywriter, what's the difference? Tell me. Specifics, angle, yes. Attracting versus hunting, very well. Positioning. Can you see one is a much more reactive approach? One is much more proactive. Can you see one is more short, which one is more short-term thinking? Which one is more long-term thinking? Which one is coming from a scarcity mindset versus an abundant mindset? So tonight, we're going to talk about how to get clients. But as you get better, eventually, you will want to ask a question like this. So you don't have to look and hunt for clients, because most copywriters, they don't understand. They're always in this hunting mode. And that's why they have the income ups and downs. We don't want that for you. Okay, we want to have that consistent income coming in as a copywriter, so you could focus on adding value. You could focus on utilizing your skill to bring in more revenue for the business. It's it's a different focus, right? But you need to elevate, what's the word? Elevate your thinking. The most important thing you will learn from me ever is the way you think. I don't just teach my students how to do something. I always want to go into your mindset, change the way you think, making those little shifts. Because you could change the way you think, you would do things differently. When you will do things differently, you produce different results. Versus most programs, they give you all the how-tos, but they never change your mindset. And that's why it doesn't work. And even if it works, it doesn't last. You with me? It doesn't last. You want lasting, permanent results. The only way to do that, to accomplish that, is to change your mindset. So let's take a look at a traditional path. What is the traditional path? You go to school, you study hard, you get good grades, you get into debt, you spend 4 to 6 years to graduate, depends on what subject you're studying. And if you're lucky by the end of that 4 to 6 years, you might get a job. Not a high income job, by the way, a low income job. And I define high income as at least 6 figure. That's high income. How many of you have heard of that before from your parents? Now, how many of you told some of these things to your kids before HIC? You said some of these things. So write this down. Our economy has shifted from a credential-based system to now a skills-based system. And employers and educators simply haven't kept up. We are now in the skill economy, and things are moving very fast. Yes? So when this happens, a lot of educators, the traditional educators, simply can't keep up because things are just moving too quickly, moving too fast. They're not able to keep up. Employers, companies, now they're looking at, okay, wow, okay, do we still want to hire people based on their credentials, meaning they've gone to school, they have that piece of paper, or do we actually want skillful talents that can produce results, right? And whatever they've learned, chances are by the time they are in the positions, a lot of those things are out of date anyway. So companies need to retrain them or to empower them to learn what's working currently anyway. And this is across the board. In tech, yes, but outside of tech, it's the same. Things are changing, things are shifting. So what happens is, as a student who is going through this, right, and seeing these things. Now, he's very some interesting statistics. Take a look at this, okay? And this is back in 2012, okay? Student loan debt in the United States has surpassed both the credit card and auto loan debt. I want you to take a look at this. Now, what does this tell you? What does this tell you? School is expensive, yes. Schools are lagging behind, yes. It costs us too much to go to school. Hell fucking yes. Right? It's a scam, yes. School doesn't make you money. Now, school makes a lot of money. Now, not only that, so I want you to remember this. Okay, it's not little bit of money. This is the whole freaking nation, right? For people who could, and this, by the way, this is the people who could even afford to get into debt. How many recognize you need to have some credit to get into debt? That could even afford to go to fucking school. Maybe their parents are middle class. I'm not even talking about lower income. Low income, forget about it. They can't even go to school. They don't have money to go to school. They can't even get into debt to go to school. But you know what is even more startling is this. I want you to take a look at this number. The green line is disposable income. The red line is student loan. What do you see with this disposable income line? And what do you see with student loan? Now, how does this make any sense? If, quote unquote, now I don't think people go to school because they want to be less successful. How many of you agree? People go to school because they want to be more successful, right? In their career, in their life. That's why they go to school. That's why they invest that time and energy and effort, and they go to school. And if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, yes, go to school, right? But not everybody wants to do all those things. But put that aside, I want you to take a look in terms of the lifestyle, in terms of functionality, in terms of practicality. What does this tell you? And yet, parents are still telling the kids the traditional path. You go to school, you go to get good grades. It's okay, mom and dad. We could fund some of your education for you, right? It's okay. We'll take on that debt, right? You know, the dad will take on a second job because we want you to have a successful life. And the kids go to school. And then now, what? Now what? Now what happens is the industry, from both the educator, the employer perspective, now for the first time, for a long time, that system is being challenged. People are thinking, you know, why are we spending tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars getting a piece of paper that actually doesn't work? Parents start to question about it. The students start to question about it. In fact, you questions about it. Like, you know, there's something off about this. There's something odd about, like, it doesn't make sense. It's like a wake-up call for a lot of people. Now, what happens is I see myself as an educator. I'm a CEO, but I would say my hobby, my profession is education. So my business is my business. But my hobby, my profession, my passion is education. So what's the solution? I believe the skill economy, write this down, the skill economy equals the apprenticeship economy. The old days of you got to spend a lot of time learning something that you may never use. Now it's much more going back to the old days before the industrial revolution, before the factories, before the machines. Think about back then, right? A farmer wants to farm. Does he go to 4 years of school and learn how to farm, right? If he's going to teach to his son, he would be like, hey, you know, son, just follow me. We're going to take care of the cows. We're going to grow some vegetables and watch how we do this, right? This is how we water. This is how we plant the seeds. This is how we take out the weeds, right? It's through this kind of mentor-mentee kind of relationship, right? And it's going back like that because things are more efficient. A lot of stuff that could be done by the machines will be done by the machines. The ones who cannot be done by the machines, right? The skills that requires creativity, right? Innovation, the human touch. But those things, it's not so easily transferable without a mentor-mentee relationship. So one of the things you have to understand is this. This is very key. And before I get into all the client getting strategies, something you have to understand. In the credential-based economy, in the job economy, there's a period of time, there's a deadline for learning. You go to school, right? You sign up for university. They tell you, hey, I want to learn this, I want to learn that. Good, it's a 4-year program. It's a 5-year program, right? I want to be an accountant. Great. This is how many years? These are the courses. These are the steps, and boom, you do that. In this skill economy, that doesn't exist anymore. In this skill economy, every single one of us need to be a lifelong learner. Because if you are not a lifelong learner, you will be left behind. Just because you're successful this year, it doesn't guarantee your success for next year. So it's not how much you know. It's how fast you can learn. Write this down. It's not how much you know. It's how fast you can learn. So the ability to learn, to keep learning, keep growing and pivoting and adapting, very, very key. So the minute you think, oh yeah, I learned that, I graduate, I got my piece of paper, I learned that 4-year program, 3-year program, you're screwed. The minute you think that, you're screwed. It needs to be a lifestyle. Put in a chat, learning is my lifestyle. It needs to be a lifestyle. It is not even, it's not a thing you go to. It's not a school that it's part of who you are. You're a learner. You want to survive, you want to thrive in this skill economy. That's part of it. So the old economy is you go to school, you get good grades, you spend years, you get into debt, then hopefully, if you're lucky, you'll earn something, yes? You get a job, you get paid, hopefully. In the skill economy, in the apprenticeship economy, the biggest difference, done properly, is you get paid while you're getting good. Write this down. You get paid while you're getting good. Not get paid after 4 years. You get paid while you're getting good. And the better you are, the more you get paid. So HIC is the ultimate earn while you learn program. It is not, oh, well, let's spend, can you imagine? And let's say I give you the pitch. I'm going to give you the pitch. All right, I want you to learn copywriting, and you're gonna invest $100,000, and you're gonna spend 4 years. Enough in school. I'm gonna give you a bunch of textbooks, and after 4 years, good luck. Imagine if that's Sifu's pitch as a copywriter. That's the pitch the school is giving you. That's exactly the pitch the university is giving you. Like, isn't it funny when I explain it that way? Like, oh my goodness. It almost sounds silly, doesn't it? Right? It's not very irresistible now, is it? As a copywriter, we want to make irresistible offers, right? So think about, with what you do, one of the filters you need to have is this. How quickly can I apply this? Write this down. Whenever you're confused of what to learn and what not to learn, ask yourself this question. How quickly can I apply this? So when you go to school, right? Let's say year 1. It's like, okay, you ask yourself the question, how quickly can I apply this? Well, if I want to be a doctor, I'll get 6 years. 6 years I can practice, really, right? That's the question you need to ask in the skill economy. Is that helpful, by the way? A little bit of an economy class. It goes back to the why you're learning this, why you're learning high income skill, why you're learning copywriting, why you're here. Like, why are we here? In Sifu's organization, our mission is we elevate financial well-being globally by equipping individuals with high income skills. That's our mission statement. It's in office. Elevate financial well-being globally. By teaching, giving, equipping individuals with high income skills. And it is a vision, it is a mission, and it's a vision that I may never accomplish in my lifetime. It's that far away vision. That's something we strive towards to. That I could spend a lifetime chasing, fulfilling that dream. And it's beautiful. because it forces us to be better. It forces me to be better by doing that. And it's different. And what Sifu strives to do is really, you think about, you're here, if you call this the Danlong University, is the ultimate earn while you learn program. That's why I want to teach my students. That's why I want to teach you. Doesn't matter if it's closing, copywriting, or the various skills that we teach. But by doing that, it's not that it doesn't come with issues. When Sifu is going against traditional education, when Sifu is going against traditional path, when I'm influential, there are people out there who don't like what I do. They discredit what I do. They defame what I do. It's all part of it. It's all part of it. So universities where they scam people out of hundreds of thousands of dollars, giving you really nothing. And for us, when we charge, think about HIC or any of the programs we do compared to university, think about the price difference. You tell me. Isn't it a fraction of what traditional education charges? Now, for those who are new with me, that you're not in other programs, you're brand new with me, how many would agree? And be honest, no exaggeration. For the first 2 weeks, just the first 2 weeks alone, you feel you've already gotten your money's worth. 2 classes. Not only I'm giving you education, but I'm giving you the mindset that is actually a fundamental shift and improvement within you that you know. In some cases, incalculable. You can't even put a price tag on that. And somehow, Sifu gets the blame. And I do. And I know that. And I don't really care. I don't really care because I never give an ounce of energy to haters, trolls. It doesn't matter. All I care is you're here with me. The only focus I need to have is, am I making an impact in your life? You. That's all that matters at this moment. Period. Period. Now, it doesn't mean every single student who is my student, every single one of them is successful. Doesn't matter how good as a teacher and educator I am, I cannot make everyone successful. And it's not that the methodology is not good. It's they have their own self-esteem, lower self-programming issues, lifetime of programming. Not everybody can reverse that. In fact, most people cannot reverse that. Wouldn't you agree? And more than that, and Desmond is a good example, since he's here tonight. Des, you could also share a little bit. We have some of the things. Can I just take a little bit behind the scenes? Then I'll go into the strategies. This is very educational. Okay, this is something that you may not expect. That Desmond, we actually have people setting up fake accounts. Actually, Desmond, why don't you share? It's better if you share.
Yeah, so over the years, I guess because I've been in videos with you, if people can't get to you, they'll try to get through me to get to you. So for example, almost every week, we have at least 1 or 2 Instagram accounts or 1 or 2 Facebook accounts that need to be shut down. I'll get messages. There's either one individual or multiple individuals that actually try to pose and target single moms or single women, or not single women, but single moms mainly. And I've had numerous messages from them. They'll say, are you the real Desmond? I sent money to this other guy and he was a scam artist. And then they think it's me. right? So then I have to prove to them, I'm like, no, this is the real Desmond. Like I might even shoot a video to them. I'll say, look, this is actually me, right? I'm married, I got kids. The other one is where, if they want to attack Sifu, what they'll do is they'll go on Reddit or Quora, and they will actually create an account, call themselves Desmond Soon, Executive Director, or Desmond Soon, Dan Locke's mentee. And then they'll write a very negative, long, making it look as if I'm the one writing a message claiming, negative things about Sifu. So we had to actually have like lawyers and other people come in and, contact with like Quora or Reddit to get those shut down. But that's the kind of stuff. People just got so much time on their hands. And we have a full infringement team that focuses on that almost every single day.
So think about someone taking the time to pretend to be Desmond, setting up an account, create a whole long post, totally fabricated, pretending to be him, to just to attack me personally. That's a lot of free time. That's a lot of free time, right? Instead of them actually building something.
The funny thing, Sifu, is if they put that copywriting, writing that big long article
I
into
know
something positive,
I know.
Such a waste.
Yeah. So people are funny, and Sifu knows, and as we get bigger, and now we are so big now in terms of with the reach and influence that we have, right? But technically, not technically, we actually have the largest business YouTube channel in the world now. So people like that because it's a target, and it doesn't help when I'm minority. And this is not a racist thing. It's just what it is, right? It's just what it is, right? And see, what's been, I have heard of all the names that you could think of, right? So knowing that's what Sivas to go through, right? And I would be lying to you if I never thought about just retire from teaching and just mind my own business. That thought has crossed my mind multiple times. I'm like, why? I just focus going on my business. I don't need this. Like, why am I? Like, I'm doing my part. I want to do some good. I want to pass the torch and transfer my skills. And yet, right? The heat that I get, right? Like if it's from, and by the way, sometimes from my own students that I've trained, the mentees that I've trained, the mentee that I helped to teach them skills to pay off their debt, to provide for their family, and they got greedy. And I've seen it not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 10 times, too many to even count, right? And I thought about, what if I just retire from teaching? Just don't teach. But every time I'm in class, I'm in Facebook group, and I see you and I see my students, and I see your comment, I see your growth, and I'm like, if I don't teach, because I retired from teaching when I was in my late 20s. I was speaking and just retired from teaching for many years. Desmond knows this. And I'm like, But then I got back into it because I like to teach. I had that teacher's heart, right? How many recognize like a fish has to swim, right? A tiger has to hunt, right? As a teacher, I need to teach. It's what I like to do. It's what I like to do starting very early on, even when I was teaching martial art back in the college, right? I like to utilize my gift and see people transformed, right? In some way, I'm hopelessly addicted to seeing people seeing their transformation. I like to see that, right? I enjoy that process. Even though I've been backstabbed, fucked over many times, I still like it, right? I'm like, maybe they ain't so bad, I will still defend them, Yeah, just they got greedy, jealousy, and it got to them, right? That's the pearl in me. So when I see your story, it just reminds them, if I don't do it, then I wouldn't have the students that we have here in the community. You wouldn't be here, and I thought about that, and I thought about it. Then I look at all the trolls. I'm like, fuck them. Fuck them. Who cares? They bring no joy, no satisfaction, no fulfillment, right? Who cares? All that matters is the moment that we have now. And I'm not doing it for them, I'm doing it for you. So really, who gives a shit what they think? Even though they on purpose have evil intent, right? I'm like, yeah. So I'm here, still teaching. So no worry, Sifu's not retiring anytime soon. But I have thought about it. I think I enjoy it too much. I just enjoy it too much that there will be a void in me if I don't teach in some way, shape, or form. Right. That I might not always do the classes like this all the time, like many, many hours live. But I always want to allocate a portion of my time because it feeds my soul, right? It gives me that like just that warm feeling, right? It gives me a sense of purpose, and that's why I like to do it. Yeah. So open your arms, a little virtual hug here, a little virtual hug. And truly, you make me better. You make me better. All of you make me better. That I'm growing, striving to be better, becoming that better teacher, right? Becoming that better teacher. And it's all about growth. Once you recognize, yes, the income skill is good, the money is good, all that is great. But at the end of the day, it's about growth. It's about growth. And once you have, quote unquote, you've arrived and you've made it, and now you have abundance in your life, then you recognize it's truly about contribution and shifting from success to significance, which I talked about in the book, right? Unlock it. When you're at the stage of significant, you're like, this is cool. And I know, I know that I am incredibly grateful. Like I'm incredibly blessed. Like how many people could do what they love to do, right? Have a great life, be able to impact so many people and live life on their own terms and get up every morning just excited. I mean, not many people could say that, right? And I could say that. I've got a great relationship, got a great wife, right? I've got a great family, and I've got a great team. Like I don't have many regrets, right? Except with my father, but I don't have many regrets. I've done a lot of things at a young age, right? And I'm still growing. Who knows where the future will be? But it's just, so I'm very blessed. I know that. I've probably done more at my age than most people in their lifetime, maybe multiple lifetime, right? So what I want to say is, if you treat HIC like a hobby, it pays you like a hobby. If you treat HIC like a profession, like a career, then it pays you like a profession. You're professional, right? It pays you like a full-time career. If you treat HIC, your skill, like a lifestyle, like it's who you are, then it pays you beyond your imagination, because you're not limited by just, oh, it's something that I do. And write this down. It's not just, if it's something that you do, it's always, you will hit that glass ceiling. But when it's who you are, now it's part of you. Now we're talking about the emotional content, right? You're not just going through the motion, right? You're not just, oh, I'm learning this skill. Yes, in the beginning, we all do, right? You're learning a skill set. But when it becomes who you are, that you are a copywriter, things change significantly. So it doesn't matter what I do. Even I'm running all the companies and doing all these things, I'm closing, but there's that copywriter in me. There's that closer in me, right? It doesn't matter. right? It's not just what I do, right? I could be closing on the phone, but in an email, I'm using copywriting skill. I could be using copywriting skill, but at the same time on the phone, I'm using my closing skill, right? So it's all part of who I. It's not very, oh, I'm doing closing and I'm doing copywriting, I'm doing consulting. No, it's very blurry, the line. Just what I do. And I don't think about it. So we're going to talk about 10 ways. How many ways? 10 ways to land your first or next copywriting client. Okay? 10 ways to do this. We are going to get very quite tactical, meaning the first two classes, module 1, module 2, they're more principles based. What are they? Principles based lessons, right? Tonight, we're going to much more tactical tactics. Like, here's what you do. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 type kind of strategies and tactics. Okay. And a quick warning, don't feel like you got to do all of them. Okay. Do not feel like, I got to do them all. You don't need to do them all. In fact, don't try to do them all. You'll go insane. Okay. Pick a few of these that resonates with you. And in fact, you could just pick 1 or 2 and kind of focus on it. And you get very good at it. And everybody would like different things. This is like a buffet. Okay. See if it's taking you to that HIC buffet here, right? Hey, here's the lobster, here's the oyster, here's the steak, here's the spaghetti, here's the salads, here's the sushi, whatever you like, right? You can have the buffet. You don't need to be like, I'm going to eat them all. See if I'm going to eat that and then the 10 desserts. Well, then you won't feel so good afterwards, right? That's not good kind of overwhelmed. That's a bad kind of overwhelmed. Okay, so don't feel the pressure of you got to do them all. Agree? Okay, pick and choose. Pick and choose what resonates with you. And different strategy would resonate with different copywriters. Some you are like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Some like, that's not me, right? Find what works for you. Client getting strategy number 1, declare to the world that you are a copywriter. That's the very first thing you got to do. Declare to the world that you are a copywriter. Because if you don't tell people you're a copywriter, how would they know that you're a copywriter? They're supposed to hire you. You can't keep it the secret. You don't want to be the best kept secret, right? You got to declare to the world that proudly, loudly, that you are a copywriter, right? In fact, say it with me. I'm a copywriter. I'm a high-income copywriter. So you got to be very proud of the fact that you are a profession, right? This is what you do. This is who you are. Doesn't matter if you are doing it for yourself or you're doing it for other clients. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about a identity thing, right? Now, see if it's not trying to hurt you or your feelings. I'm trying to help you. In a moment, I'm going to share something with you. A few things with you. We took a moment to go through some of your social media profiles in this season. And for some, your social media profile is a disaster. You have a SPD going, which is a sales prevention department. A sales prevention department. Not only is not helping you to get clients, it's actually preventing clients from ever hiring you. They won't even want to talk to you. Okay. So luckily, if somehow your Facebook profile got picked, I picked a few, know this, that see if it's not trying to hurt you, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to teach you a lesson here. Can we agree on that? Okay. You ready? Now, as I show you each profile, I want you to quickly type in the chat your first impression. And these are your brothers and sisters, by the way. These are your brothers and sisters in this season. The first impression that you get, no filter, okay? Oh, but be gentle, but no filter, okay? As a copywriter, as a potential client when you see this, okay, here we go. Here's the first one. Party
boy,
party person.
frat boy. Yeah,
So
looks like a raver.
the first impression. Oh, but Sifu, my prospects, they're not going to check my social media profiles. Are they going to check your social media profiles? Is the first fucking thing they check. So yes, the answer is absolutely yes. Can you imagine? You're talking to prospect. You go all the way, like closing that deal. You just close a retainer deal. 4K a month. Great. Let's get started. Well, that business owner, just before he does anything, he says, I'm going to check our Facebook profile, and he sees this. What happens to that 4K retainer a month? Do you blame the business owner for ghosting? No. Here's the next one. What about this one? These are not strangers. These are students in this season. Wanting to learn copywriting, wanting to be a professional, wanting to develop a high income skill.
Yeah, people saying no face about the gym. Can't see his face. Nice six packs though, or maybe even 8-pack, but this is about the gym. Confusing.
I don't think even a six pack is his. Look at his body built. The shoulders. So could you see with your profile photo looking away, does that create trust? So what would be a better photo? That's right. A photo shows your face, right? Making eye contact, facing the reader, right? Directly.
Also, I think I see some other photos, Sifu on the bottom. I mean, he looks pretty young. Emmanuel looks like he is not even 19. Looks like, those are kid pictures.
Mm-hmm. By the way, if you look young, how many of you look would say that you look relatively young? See, we had the same problem because when I was getting started, it's hilarious because I have baby face, right? So I just look young. Like it's good when I'm older now, but somehow like I've got that baby face. So I look very young when I was like 20 something years old, right? Trying to get clients back then. People look at like, holy shit, you look like a high school kid. So, what I did was I was wearing glasses. I was, doing, wearing suits to dress to look a little bit older, right? What about this one? Put in a comment.
Blur, empty, fake profile, blurry, ghosts, no cover, low quality.
Now it's looking directly, but what's wrong with the photo? What else is missing? What else do you notice? Yes. Cover photo banner. Yes. No content. Right? So it almost looks like a fake profile. This is why, as a copywriter, especially now in what we're doing, like digital marketing, writing copy for digital agencies and business owners, it is mandatory for us to have a social media presence. It's you don't. It's not. Oh, but see, I really don't like Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. I don't give a shit. You want to make money? You need to be. You need to have a social media presence. Period. If you say, "Oh, I see, I don't like, I'm not social media kind of person," you might as well say, "I don't like money." You might as well just say, "I don't like money, Sifu." It doesn't matter what you like. It matters to the prospect what they like. Does that make sense? Seafood doesn't like social media. I do not like social media. I'll say it one more time. It doesn't stop me from building a massive following, accumulate what I call social capital. Because I know how powerful that is a tool for business, for influence, for that social capital. So I don't need to like it to do it. So don't be thinking, oh, yeah, it's not my thing. It's think about the people. Think about back in the days, okay? It's like the people many years ago. Well, I don't like computers, I'm not with this computer. I'm not good with this computer thing, What happens to those people? They get left behind. They get left behind. I don't like this smartphone thing. You have one of the most powerful computers in the palm of your hands and you don't use it. Doesn't mean it doesn't come with problems. It comes with problems. But it's not an excuse on not learning it, not doing it, and not utilizing it. Okay, write this down. Poor people use social media for pleasure. Rich people use social media for profits. Elon Musk uses social media. It's called Twitter to sell his Tesla. Now, not all rich people use social media, but you're damn sure someone from the team is using social media, some way, shape, or form. Here's another one. I like this one. How about this one? No, the eyes. Sifu didn't put that. It's there. It's not to protect identity. It's there. That's original photo. Don't ask me why. I don't know why. Is this a sales prevention department? Yes or no? How about this one? These are not random accounts. These are brothers and sisters wanting to charge thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to write copy. I don't care how good your skill is. You've got this going on. We got a problem. Here's the last one. What about this one? Seems to be nice, right? Seems to be a nice person. But how do you want people to trust and give you money when you're like not taking not taking the time to craft? It's like you wonder why you're single, because every time you go out there, your hair's messy. You know, you wear one of those saggy pants, right? You don't dress well. Of course, you don't get a date. You don't deserve a date because you're not dressing to attract a date. So here's the question. If you don't know you, would you pay money to hire user copywriter strictly 100% based on your current social media profiles? Not your personality, no trust, strictly based on your social media profiles.
Sifu, Noe was asking, should we have our profile on private or public?
Well, for these profiles,
Hide it. Put it
I'll fucking delete them. You know? No, but if I'll make it private, no one can search for it. Then as a business owner, again, as a client, what does that tell me? Like if you have no trace of, I cannot find you anywhere. Like I'm not so comfortable PayPaling you X amount of dollars to get started. Is it, Sifu, is it better to create a new account or revamp the current one? Now that depends. That's a good question. It depends. If your profile, it's relatively, you don't have a lot of stuff on there, easy to revamp. If you've got a lot of, let's say, history on there, you know what I mean? You got a lot of history on there, meaning 7 years ago you got drunk at a party and you're showing your ass, that kind of history, okay? It's better to start a new one.
Sifu, even on that one, if I can stack on that, even if you have a history, there are things that you can do if you get creative, guys. Some of you have time on your hands. Go back, start going back and deleting stuff. Start going back and making photos private. It may consume quite a lot of hours. Some of you, it's a low income skill, may actually hire a VA, pay them, I don't know, $100. Hire a high school kid, millennial, someone that's fast. Here's $100. You give them access to your Facebook group using a LastPass, using a password that you can change. And you have them go through for a whole week and just, someone who's trustworthy a bit, who's diligent, right? And they go through and they start to remove the photos for you. It's as simple as that. I prefer to have the history on my channel, on my Facebook, because it shows I'm a real person. All the other fake accounts that try to copy me, you can just see they've been around only for a few months. So when people always said to me, Desmond, is this the real you? I said, just look at my profile. Look how old it is. Yes, of course it's the real me. Look at the other fake ones, right? So I try to keep my profile. But yes, definitely block out the time and clean up your profiles.
Mm-hmm. And you don't have to, a lot of the kind of memories and family photos, download those, right? Just don't keep it on Facebook. Just don't keep it on Facebook. We're now high-income copywriters. We're using social. Don't do what people do. Oh, social media, it's convenient. I send photos to grandpa and all that. No, that's what Facebook wants you to do. We want to use Facebook for business, for income generating activities, right? For profit. Not using Facebook the way that they want us to use it, because they want us to be relying on the platform, right? To be in our day-to-day lives.
One more question just came in here about, so I think was asked, is the profile pic always important or also the background pic?
Both. Because people make very subtle judgment about you, right? And if you want to stand out, and which I'll go into just a moment, right? That you want to make sure your profile stands out. Good. So what are you going to do? Strategy number one, you want to add copywriter to all your social media profiles. If you have a little web page, about us page, your bio, your email, signature. You want to start talking to people how you can help them, help the business grow through copywriting. You want to upload a professional photo. A professional photo. Now, Sky's asking, is it easier if we create a new account? Here's the thing. You could create a new account, but people would still find you on your personal profile, even if you're a page. So it doesn't matter. They can still find you.
See, for every time we do this, I always notice everybody always seems to ask a lot of questions, right? And the deeper reason I
Because
think,
you're
right,
fucking emotionally attached to it. That's what it is.
that's right. Everyone's trying to do the easy way.
What
You're
about
trying,
this? What about no? It's like a bad relationship, right? You see how addicted we are to the platforms, right? Like, okay, how you think about the profile photos I just showed you. How could you not know that is a client prevention department? You're all smarter than that, but yet we still keep them. Yeah, they're not gonna see it. Yeah, I guess it's okay. Yeah, it just makes me personal. I'm just a normal person. Yes, like most people. I get drunk from time to time. No, nothing but excuse.
and yes, you can't make two profiles, right? So delete the old one, make a new one, or clean up the old one. Everybody wants the money, but nobody wants to do the work. You can't even do this. Like, how do you expect
It's not even work. It's just your basic like image management, right? And it's a mindset thing. Like, how can you be a high-income copywriter? You can't even put copywriter on your social media profiles. You can't even proudly display who you are. You talk about self-image. Module 1. This is self-image. Now, for some, imagine this. After you clean up your social media profile, just imagine for a second that you clean up your social media profile, clean up all the crap. Now you've got a professional image, photo, banner, all of that. Can you imagine how liberating that is? Could you see now you are adapting to the new self-image as a copywriter? Oh, but Sifu, I saw a question there. Don't I need to know copywriting before I could declare myself as a copywriter? You gotta first be a copywriter first, so you could learn copywriting. It's the other way around. That's how the school system fucked us up. It teaches us you got to do all these things before you could give yourself the permission to be something. It's the other way around. You got to see yourself being there first, acting as if, not faking, but acting as if that's the new you. So you would take on the identity, so you take on the behaviors of a professional copywriter. So you think, look at those profiles. If you think of that from that perspective, well, then never update those profiles. See how can you be a copywriter? Or is it you got to update those fucking profiles first, then you become a copywriter? Would you like to see some examples of some decent profile? Jero is asking. I'm gonna answer this question before I go into it. Sifu, can you take on both identities as high-income copywriter as well as high-ticket closer? The answer is yes, because Sifu has the identity. Don't I? In fact, I have multiple identities. What is a copywriter? We are what? We are closers in print? Who are high ticket closers? Your closers in person or closers on the phone? It's the same. It's exactly the same. There's no difference. Your close be closed. Either closing someone for them to take the action that you want them to take, that is good for them, or someone's closing you that they don't want to take the action that you want them to take, even though it's good for them. This is making sense. So it's the same identity. In my mind, there's no difference. You could, in fact, add on to different things. Even if you add digital marketing to it, you're still, in my mind, it's still a closer. You're just closing through digital marketing platforms. As a YouTuber, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a closer on video. That's why my channel grew. Most people get into YouTube because, oh, I'm a YouTuber, try to be cool, try to make what they want to make. I go into YouTube, I know I make what people want to see. That's the difference. I see a question. If your name is difficult to remember, it's not memorable, yeah, change it. It's a big thing because I have so many students who are from like international. Do you know Sifu's Chinese name? How many of you know Sifu's Chinese name? I'll share my Chinese name with you. Okay. Here's my Chinese name. Okay. My Chinese name actually is like legal name is Jifeng Lock. Jifeng Lock. Now, I don't know about you. I just don't think that name I could build as a big of a personal brand around this. So I changed the name. Not changed the name, I added my English name since high school. In fact, my name, if you don't know the story, I'll tell you the story. So one time I was having lunch with Alan, my mentor, my copywriting mentor, Alan, Oliver Garden in Langley. After we finished, now at the time, my name was Daniel. Daniel Locke was my name, Daniel, right? And I was driving Alan back home and I was thinking to him, hey, you know, Alan, I'm thinking of changing my name. Now, keep in mind, I was early 20s, right? Very young, just doing copywriting. And he is like, okay, so what do you want to change it to? He's like, well, I'm like, well, you know, I'm thinking of that shorten it. Just call it Dan, like, you know, just like Dan Locke versus Daniel Locke. Like it's got a little bit more punch, right? Dan Locke. And we thought about it. And then he was sitting in the passenger seat. He made a kind of a hand gesture. He said like, you know, yeah, I could see that. See Dan Locke live, you know, at an event. Yeah, I think that's it's got some punch. I like it. Use it. And I was like, what? How can you see that? I don't see it because keep in mind, I wasn't even close to like, I never thought of introvert, just writing copy. It wasn't like he could see me on stage saying an event. I didn't even see myself in that light, but he said, yeah, I could see that. That was so many years ago, right? So many years ago. And from then on, yeah, that's how the Dan Locke brand was born. And fast forward today, right? Which Dan Locke is actually a trademark. It's very difficult to trademark a name, but it is a trademark. It's a brand. It's a global brand. And if you put a value on the brand today, the personal brand, how much that is worth, because someone believed in me and saw something I didn't see myself, because I was willing to change my name, right? It's worth a lot. It's worth a lot. So if your name doesn't work, change it. If it's difficult for people to remember, change it. If it's difficult for people to pronounce, change it. Because you gotta ask yourself this question: does this help me in my career, or does this hurt me in my career? Is this making me richer, or this is making me poor? It's a very simple question, and that tells you what you need to know, right? And there's nothing wrong. I'm proud of with my name and things like that. It's just it doesn't work in business, right? Especially if I want to build something in North America, right? You have to cater to the fact. That's why, as copywriters, brands, right, headlines, all that matters. All that matters. Naming things, very critical. So, who wants to see some decent Facebook profiles? This is a comparison, okay? This one I'm going to show you. Actually, he is not only he's someone that I've trained for many years, very young mentee. He's been with me for quite some time now, and he's now doing his own thing. I'm very proud of him doing email copywriting. So this is Hassan, and Desmond knows Hassan quite well as well. So you can see a little picture. He's he's young, by the way, he's young. Hassan, would you say, Desmond, how old is he now? 19? 18, 19? Yeah, 19. Yeah, started with me when I was 16 or something. Right? And I also want you to see the intro because I like the intro, right? Email architect, helping thought leaders influence scale through email marketing. Remember we talked about niching, right? Last class. Isn't that a niche? You specialize in emails and specialize in just thought leaders and influencers. Boom. Right? It's business. So it's just because you want to be a writer, it doesn't mean you're in like t-shirts and like, again, like those sweaty pants and, home casual. No, you still look like professional, right? Professional. Here's another one. That's not my student that I just found on Facebook, which I thought interesting, right? It's got a little bit of that creativity, that artistic look, right? And I like, do you see how a customized banner makes your profile stand out? Right? Yeah. Right? You see, like, this is why you want to use something a little bit personal, a little custom, right? And in this case, I think the black and white photo, it's well showcased. Doesn't always have to be black and white, and I want you to pay attention also to her below the intro. Copywriter, right? What do you think? What do you think this person does? What do you think she does for a living? She's a copywriter. Thank you very much. Good guess. Right? Like you could see. So that's Facebook profile. Also, your email signature is a good little simple example, right? If you got an email address, you can have your LinkedIn. Got a face, right? A photo. Just imagine putting that in just in your email signature. You can easily set that up in Gmail. Very simple. Very simple. Don't get fancy. Just like we're talking about simple things that we could do, right? Here's another example, right? Decent, clean, professional photo, right? Name, and boom, right there. Simple things. Simple things. Makes a difference. And by the way, here's a little tip if you want a photography tip. If somehow you can work it in where you're actually holding a pen, it makes you look smarter. It's a subliminal message that you're a writer. Even though we write with keyboard, but if you can somehow kind of work it in, if you're in front of me, I'll kind of coach you on it, but you know how you're thinking with a pen, right? Or you kind of pointing that pen in your face, or you're thinking, or you're kind of touching your lips a little bit. That's a very deep thought, right? And not one of those cheap pen either. Use a nice, and maybe not a Mont Blanc, like that's what Desmond collects, right? But like something, not a cheap $1 pen, but a decent pen. It tells people a lot. First of all, if it's a nice pen, it tells people, hey, this person values nice things. You appear to be more sophisticated, right? And the finer things. And then, okay, if you would cherish and use a pen like that, wow, you know, your writing should be pretty good because you value the pen, right? So a simple trick like that is very powerful, very powerful. Desmond actually gave me a gift a while ago, which is a limited edition John F. Kennedy pen that he gave me as a gift. That it's from Mont Blanc, right? Limited edition, like the JF Kennedy blue, right? So I have that one. I use that. It's like $800, $1,000, that pen. And thank you, Desmond, again, right, for giving me the gift. But it makes a difference. It makes a difference. So that's a little tip. So your social media profile, if you can you just imagine, like, you know, just posing with a pen? Can you imagine? Right? And if you look good with glasses, wear glasses. If you look good with glasses. If you don't, that's okay. Makes a difference. Right? It makes a difference. If you have hesitation about social media, making the changes and cleaning up the garbage and all of that stuff, it's an Instagram post that I did. I think it's very timely. You can't become who you want to be because you're too attached to who you've been. Put in a chat how many of you could relate to this. Mm-hmm. Who you were, who you still are, perhaps. So think about quickly, no thought, you meet someone at a party, they ask you very quickly, what do you do? And you say, oh, I'm, right? I do this, and whatever profession that you're in right now, if your answer is not copywriting, is I'm not a copywriter. If it's not, I'm a copywriter, you're too attached to who you've been. Very, very key. Very key. Very key. Client getting strategy number 2. We got 9 more to go. Let's go. By the way, for some, that one move that I just taught you, now you're searchable. People type in Facebook, they search copywriter, guess what? Now they can find you. They can find you, they can hire you. Do you understand? They can find you, they can hire you. No good being the best kept secret. People who are best kept secrets are broke. You need attention. Not being attention whore, that's a different thing. That's from low self-esteem. Good kind of attention. Eric's asking, do you put different language to describe your profile? Yes. Your Facebook should not be the same as your LinkedIn because it's a different audience. Isn't it a different audience? One is a business type audience, one is more casual type audience. Don't go lazy with this. You're a copywriter. Cannot be lazy with words. We make money with words. We create results with words. We cannot be lazy with words. Right? You gotta be a bit of a wordsmith. A wordsmith. Just this week is interesting. This week, I hired one of the best, what I consider storytelling writers in the world. Okay. I had him working on my origin story. I hired him to work on my story. Okay. For the newdownload.com. And just this week, he spent probably almost a month working on that. One long page. And after he finished, we got on the call. He read through the entire story to me. And then I looked at it. And then we go through line by line. And we would wordsmith that. Oh, no, that doesn't know. How about this? How about move this? And by the way, the first draft is already pretty phenomenal, in my opinion. Right? And just like both of us, because we're both writers, right? So I'm looking at that. I said, Dan, how does that part, like, how does that sound? Like, yeah, it's close, but I think we could change one word here, right? And it's like, okay, yeah, let's make it perfect. And then we were both kind of geeking out about okay, that word and how about, oh yeah, that's so good, right? We have like added that's one part. So all these things, yeah, because we're both copywriters and we have this dynamic, right? And it's like, does this feel like it's your voice? I said yes. And then at the end, we finished with me reading the whole story out loud, right? Something that I teach you, right? You got to read it out loud after you finish your copy to see how it sounds, not just how it reads, right? So in editing, a bonus tip we'll get into in a few weeks, but kind of give you an advance. After you finish your copy, the best thing you can do is to read that out loud, to see how it flows. Okay. So for him to do that, and then we finished, and we were just like every word we were like, there was one paragraph, one sentence, we use I versus me, and we kind of go back and forth. And then, yeah, I think me sounds a little bit better versus I. Just a few words. The whole thing we changed maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 words, right? But we spent almost an hour on that, right? That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, right? And yeah, and so then, Steve was doing a storytelling class for like my more advanced students, right? Just on storytelling. Then it was so good, I hired him. So then I'm having him train, like do a class for my inner circle students, just on storytelling, because he's the best I've ever seen in the world, right? If I hire him. And so it's like these little things where you can't get lazy about it, right? Doesn't mean that we don't have typos and stuff. I do, but I'm saying that for certain things, you got to get it right. When it comes to your profile, when it comes to like client attraction type copy, it better be good. It better be good, right? So one of my students, a LinkedIn profile, right? a LinkedIn profile. Back in the days, Steve had a website to attract clients. You are so much luckier. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because back then, their website was built on HTML, not WordPress, not all these like things that we have now. Back then, right? I had to spend actually some money, thousands and thousands of dollars back then to build a website. It's a pain in the ass to update, right? Because you have a Dreamweaver, right? To update website, you got to upload it to the server and all this shit, right? Guess what? Now you don't need any of that because your LinkedIn profile is your website. You don't really need a website if you don't want to. You could down the road in the future if you want to, but really like to be a very successful copywriter, LinkedIn is where it is at. You've already got everything you need. And people can search for it. And it's got credibility, right? Because you're leveraging the credibility of LinkedIn and you're tapping into an audience. And when you publish, back then, in the old good old days, right? When I publish, nobody gives a shit because it's on my own website. And there's no social media to tap into. There's no like. There's none of that stuff. No one likes my thing, right? You don't get any engagement. Nothing, right? It's like you're like on an island somewhere like no one can see. And it's hard, very hard to get any kind of traction and traffic. And now you've got social media, you could share, you can do this, you can click and you can connect, you can, oh my goodness, right? Back then, how hard it was just to get someone like, I remember it was like a revolutionary thing when we can have a opt-in box on the site that people can enter the email address. Back then, like building an email list was like amazing. It was crazy. You can have an email list like people like, no, email manually back then, right? So you are very, very lucky nowadays how much access you have, how many websites you could go to. So there's no fucking excuse. It's just none. There's none. Would you agree? There's none. Forget it. Okay. So your LinkedIn is it's all, you don't need to know HTML. You don't need to know any of those things. Anyone can sign up for a LinkedIn profile and you can make it look professional. Okay. And when you add copywriter as in the title in your LinkedIn profile, then you make yourself searchable on LinkedIn. It's all about being discovered. You want people to find you. You want people to know that's what you do, right? So you could have those conversations. And if later on you want to build your own website as like a personal brand, awesome, do that. But what I don't want is, oh, Sifu, I won't have my domain name and I don't have time to set up my website yet. It fucking takes you 6 months before you close a single deal. That I don't like. I don't want this to get in the way of getting that first client or the next client that you need to get. You with me? Right? I don't want that as an excuse. Right? I don't have my personal website. You don't need one. You don't need one. So be searchable. Philip is out saying that I got my client by having him find me on LinkedIn. There you go. Right? There you go. Exactly. You want to be searchable. Right? Relating to LinkedIn, what if you have a regular job that doesn't allow you to have another job? That is a very, very valid concern. Then don't use strategy number 2. I got 9 more. Use all the other ones that you could use. Some of the other ones, it doesn't require you to update your LinkedIn profile. That's okay. Until you're fully transition, right? Right, Sheila, when you're fully like a copywriter, that you're no longer working that job, then heck, proudly declare to the world, I'm a copywriter, right? But before that, you can do it discreetly. It's perfectly fine. Because I understand everyone's situation is different, right? Then maybe it's not the time yet to update that. But if for those who if you don't have that restriction, that if you want to use LinkedIn, you could use LinkedIn, then hell, use LinkedIn, right? Alex, would it be more powerful if you use all 10 tactics to get clients, Sifu? It is more powerful, but what I found, I think from students, they get paralyzed. Paralyzed. It's like learning too many techniques. I need to cover more than one, so because every tactic appeals to different student. But when you apply it, don't try to do everything, and you really don't need to. You really don't need to. But I'm going over them. It's as pretty much the level of difficulty, meaning strategy 1. Could you do strategy number 1, by the way? How easy that is. Update your profile, clean up your thing, right? And as I go through strategy 2, 3, 4, it gets the level of difficulty increases. It requires more of you, requires more skills. So knowing that as I'm going through that, it gets a little harder. It gets a little harder, right? Harder not because it's hard, not the tactic is harder. It requires you to have a little bit more skills. It just requires a little bit more skills. Jolly's asking, how do you make yourself searchable? Just by having copywriter in your title. Just by having copywriter in your title, you're more searchable. People can now find you. By having copywriter in the body, copy in the description part. But don't keyword stuff, meaning don't try to use copywriter in every single sentence. That's you're spamming it. But from different places, you can insert a few places, right? And people would find you. Example, when I type in copywriter, you could see different people. Oh, he's a copywriter in the Vancouver area. He's a copywriter, right? He's a copywriter, right? Now, if I'm interested, okay, great. If I'm a business owner, I'm interested, I click on it, look at the profile, looks good or doesn't look good. But we won't be able to find you. There are millions and millions and millions and millions of business owners on LinkedIn. Either people looking for jobs or people looking to connect. That's the beautiful thing about LinkedIn. Facebook, people go there to fuck around, right? You're looking at someone's cat, you're looking on some prank video, just like stupid shit. Okay, most people. But people go to LinkedIn to do business. It's business. That's why it's powerful. It's a business-related platform. People go there for business. They want to talk business. People are open to talk about business, right? They're looking to do some business. So it's perfect for us. Like that's where if you could have a very strong LinkedIn profile, I highly recommend it. How do you make your LinkedIn profile stand out? The same thing that you would do for your Facebook. So we have your LinkedIn photo, right? Your profile photo, right? Yes. Right above it, you also have your, what is it? The banner, the cover. Do you want to use the default one from LinkedIn, or is it a good idea to use something a little bit customized, right? A little bit personal, a little bit something that's to you, right? Different. It's no right or wrong, right? This is not a design class, right? But just make it good. And I'm going to give you a resource in just a moment. So I'm going to share with you my latest LinkedIn profile. And by the way, mentee, you could update your LinkedIn profile, that banner all the time. Don't feel like it needs to stay the same. No. In the beginning, let's say you are more a generalist, right? Yeah, but later when you are niching, you can update it anytime you want. I've updated my LinkedIn, I don't freaking how many times. I don't know, 15, 20 times, a lot of times. All the time. Depends on what initiatives we're focusing on, right? Last month, a couple months ago, we were focusing a lot on Dragon, right? Dragon 100. So now we are in acquisition mode. So we updated our LinkedIn. So here we go. Would you like to see it? Yes. Yeah. So here's our latest LinkedIn banner. Because I want to attract more deal flows, right? Because we're looking to put some money to work, to invest, and to buy more companies, right? So LinkedIn is great. I want a CEO, I want a founder see that, hey, maybe Dan can invest in my company. Maybe he would buy my company. Connect. Let's talk, right? Let's get on the phone. Let's see how we work a deal. So it's different. So don't feel that it's always the same. Okay, you could change it. You could change it. One of the best places you could go to get a custom banner done is to go to Fiverr. Just go to Fiverr, Fiverr.com, right? Type in Facebook banner, LinkedIn banner, and you would see the different packages. Like you can get it done 10, 15 bucks, little package. One of these designers, they would design something cool for you, right? You could do yourself. If you know how to do it, great. If you don't know how design program work, just invest 5, 10, 15 bucks to get something good, right? To make sure that it's something that looks professional. Could you handle that? That's a good investment. That's your image, right? That's kind of your little website that you have. So make it look good. Make it actually design it. Yes, you can use stock photo, but you can also overlay some text on it to make sure that it looks good. Makes a big difference. Okay. A book that I recommend called LinkedIn Unlocked, which is kind of interesting. Unlock. Melanie is a very good friend of mine. She is a LinkedIn expert, and it is a good book. If you want to know how LinkedIn works, because we could spend 3 hours just on LinkedIn, right? And that's not the purpose of what we do. But I do want to teach you the basics of LinkedIn so you could get clients. But if you want like the nitty-gritty details, how to write a description, like a lot of the like kind of more advanced strategies, right? Invest a few bucks on getting a book, LinkedIn Unlocked, a very powerful book. I like this book. So that's a very good, you don't need, you probably don't need more than that, but this is a very, very, especially LinkedIn, very much people who struggle with LinkedIn's because they don't know copywriting. Okay. If you know copywriting, then yes. There's also Melanie and I, we did, yes. Thank you for the reminder. With Melanie and I did an interview with her. I have her go through some of the, it's a couple years old, but still good tips. If you want to search on YouTube, let Melanie, Dan Locke, LinkedIn, you'll find that on YouTube as well. Yeah, so YouTube is free. If you want to get the book, then get the book. Client getting strategy number 3, join freelancing websites. See, we kind of talk a little bit about this, but now we go a little bit more in depth. So here's a list of the best freelancing websites for copywriters. Take a screenshot of this, Upwork, FlexJobs, freelancer.com, which is also my friend Matt Berry owns that, a public company, Guru, Writer Finder. They're all a little bit different. Okay, they're all a little bit different. Constant Content, Text Broker, Craigslist. Now, for Craigslist, you got to be a little bit more careful. A lot of scammers, a lot of like just time wasters there. But if you look you look through the junk, there's some good opportunities there too, right? Of course, copywriters.com. We are in the middle of actually revamping a site. Oh, it's going to be good. Once that's also revamped, you would see that, well, I won't spoil the surprise. Let's just say it's going to be kick ass. Okay. The cliffhanger there. Okay. James, that's right. It's illegal. You can't set up different profiles on different sites. You can only use one. So you use Upwork, that's it. You can't set up the other ones. He was teasing. Don't take it so seriously. Okay. You can go to so many of them. And there's a limitation. And you can set up different ones. And again, they're all a little bit different. Even Fiverr, you can also set it up. So pick the ones that resonate with you and just sign up for an account. You sign up for an account, you're in business. I so wish when I was getting started, I had something like this. We didn't. So I had to do this stuff like the hard way, the very hard way. Try to cold call, try to do this, and set up my own personal site, and try to write a lot of articles. And it was just, it was a lot harder. At the same time, though, I do think because of it was harder to get clients, it forces me to be better, to be a better writer. Because now everything's so easy, so instant access. People are lazy. Their profile is lazy. The description about what they do is fucking lazy. Just you can see like that's not a writer, right? Title sucks. The description sucks. The bio sucks. I'm like, they're just lazy, right? It's too easy. And what's the lesson from last week? That's right. Go broad first, right? Generalize first, and then you specialize later. So all those sites, all good. They're very broad most of the time. That's okay. Because that's where we will start. It's not where we'll end up, but that's where we'll start in the beginning. Beyond those freelancing sites, job board is also excellent for finding a full-time position. For those who are ready, that you're ready to do this full-time, that you've got the skills, right? And you believe you're ready, job board is awesome. Because they're not, so you would, those freelancing sites, you're looking for kind of gigs, right? You're looking for gigs. 1 or 2 or 3 or it's short-term gig. This is like a full-time position, right? Glassdoor, if you type in Glassdoor copywriter, content writer, see if you just type in digital content writer, you can see it's a position, junior digital content writer, 39K to 47K, right? And it's all these showing kind of Toronto type deal, freelance content writer, content specialist. There's so many fucking of them, I'm telling you. There are so many of them. There's so many. Of course, LinkedIn has the job listings too. Definitely. Right? Indeed, typing copywriter, writer, so many of them. Here's another one. There's so many opportunities. So when I hear students, see if I can't find gigs, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The only reason you don't have gigs, you're not looking. You're waiting for something. You're a waiter. You're not a writer. You're waiting for I don't know what you're waiting for. You're waiting for something. And how many clients do we need to make 5 or 6 figure income a year? How many? Just one. One solid client on a retainer, plus a couple gigs for them, like different projects. That's all you need. One agency, that's all you need. One influencer, that's all you need. In the beginning, you take on different gigs here and there, until you get good enough. Then you find out one. Is that doable? Could you handle this? Yeah. Yes. Like, that's the one, I think if there's a big distinction between my HTC students, how many of you are in HTC? My HTC students versus my HIC students, the two blue ocean, the two different markets categories, the biggest difference is HTC is an educated sale, meaning chances are we got to educate the influencer, the business owners, why they need closers. Because they may not be actively looking. They don't know sometimes. Copywriters, content, it's like it's an existing demand. They are already looking for it. They just can't find good writers. That's the difference. That's right. It is a hungry market. It's a very hungry market. Sifu, what would I say? What would you say? My first client asked me, how have you worked with any real clients yet? Just tell them the truth. No, you're my first client. This goes into a little bit of closing, by the way. That has to do with closing skill. It's one thing. Desmond, can we unmute Desmond?
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do a quick, not long role play. Sure. I want you to ask me the question: have you worked with any clients before? Now, I'm going to do it the wrong way, and then I'm going to do it the way that most students do it, and I'm going to say exactly the same thing. And I want you to hear the difference in terms of the tonality, and that's the difference between when you have closing skill and don't. So I'm going to do it the wrong way first. Go ahead.
Well, so Dan, have you worked with any other clients?
You're my first client.
Oh, really? Well, I was hoping for someone a little bit more experienced. Okay. Well, yeah. If we make a decision, we'll call you back.
Okay. Second, ask me the same question.
So Dan, do you have any experience? Have you worked with any other clients?
No, I don't. In fact, you're my first client. Is that an issue?
Well, ideally, we're hoping for someone a little bit more experienced. Have you ever done this type of email sequence kind of writing?
No, I actually haven't. If you're looking for someone who's got a lot of experience like this, then I'm probably not your guy. But what I could assure you is I'm hungry.
Okay.
And if the first couple emails don't work, then fire me anytime.
Fair enough. Okay, well, everyone's got to start somewhere. You do remind me a bit of myself.
And in fact, you know what, Des? Why don't we do this? You know how I quoted you the first email is like $200?
Yep.
How about I do the first email, no charge, just to see how you like my work?
Yeah.
You don't like it, you don't have to pay me a dime.
Yeah, sure. Why don't we do that? I guess there's no risk for me as well too. And
now,
you
if you do like it, then would you be open to talking to a more long-term kind of commitment?
Well, yeah, of course. If you can prove that you can write up a couple more emails and they're looking good, yeah, I'm happy to pay you.
I'm sure. I'm sorry. What? So can I say that again?
Yeah, of course. I'm happy to pay you if you're doing well and you're producing results. I don't see why not.
Okay. Pause off the role play. That's called a verbal handshake. I heard him the first time. I want him to say it again. That's closing. I don't have experience. Is that an issue? Does that stop me from closing the deal? No. I'm already securing, locking in the future deal. I want a retainer out of the deal. That's the difference. It's not an it's an issue when you don't know how to close. It's not an issue when you know how to close. Right? You're my first client. Is that an issue? And sometimes when you say with confidence, they will say, no, it's not an issue. It's an issue because it's a fucking issue in your mind. Are you hearing me? It's an issue because of low self-esteem is an issue. When I don't see it's an issue, it's not an issue for him. It's like sometimes like the prospect saying, "Oh, it's oh that's very expensive." Yeah, it is very expensive. Oh, I guess yeah, okay. Like if you're okay with the price, they're okay with the price. But when you're like, I don't know, when you're uncomfortable asking for money, you're uncomfortable with big money, then they are uncomfortable paying you big money. Right? They're like, oh, there's a lot of, yeah, I know it is a lot. Yeah, I shouldn't charge that. I'm so sorry I even quoted you. I should be ashamed that I asked you for that kind of money, right? No, hell no, right? It makes a huge difference when you know how to close. I said it last time in module 2. It affects your income directly. Are you making $50 an email or $200 an email? The difference is not your writing ability, it's your closing ability. Now, it doesn't mean you don't perform. Doesn't mean you don't do your very best. But the difference is not your writing ability. And it's not even your writing experience, by the way. It's your closing ability. That's what makes all the difference. Okay, we're 2 hours in. Let's do a quick, oh, it's going to be a long class. Who's ready for a long class? It's going to be a long class. Okay, taking our time, going in depth. So let's take why don't we do a quick, let's say do just a quick 3-minute break because we have a lot to go through. So do a quick 3-minute break. I'll grab some honey green tea and I'll be right back.
All right. So as always, make sure you grab something to drink, of course. If you're hungry, make sure you grab something to eat. And if you are still with me, let us know, what have you learned so far? What have been some of your main takeaways? I see everyone is typing. See, Julie says LinkedIn can be your website. I see Alicia says, don't be lazy with words. Philip says, biggest takeaway so far, social media presence is a big factor for your success as a professional. And how many of you know that you have to make some changes, do some cleanup? Yes. Let's see, what are some other takeaways? Social media profiles, so important. You have to present yourself as a high income copywriter. Jordan says, thinking about how you present yourself on social media. That's right. Be committed to the new profession. See, Aaron says, you don't want to change your profile because you are attached to who you are or who you were. Improve self-esteem. All right. Social media cleanup in progress. That's great. Okay, good. Now make sure, of course, after class that you share your takeaways with us. Share your aha moments, because we are not done yet. So make sure after class you let us know what you have learned, what your takeaways were. And that way we can all learn from each other. I see delete all my current social media content. It was a mess. Closing ability determines our income. See, Justin says gigs are abundant. If we have not found a gig, it's because we haven't looked. The abundance mentality is crucial to success. All right. Okay, I see Philip says, speaking of pictures holding pens, Seafood sells a really nice pen on the Dan Lok shop. So if you need a well trigger, danlockshop.com. Don't forget to say I'm hungry if you're dealing with first client. Get paid while getting good.
Dana, you have to do it like how Bronson does it. You got to say,
Yeah, I know.
tell your friends, danlockshop.com, danlockshop.com, danlockshop.com. Tell your friends.
That's right.
Okay, we are back. Awesome. Okay, so we got so much that I want to share with you. So let's keep going. Who's ready? Oh, I see a good question here. I see a good question here. Let me see. How so fast? Let's see. I saw the question. Something about. I think the question is how you could close. Yes. How can I close clients like that without getting them on the phone, like through freelancing sites, chat with our tonality? You could close a lot of sales through just email and chat. But if you want to lock in the retainer deal, if you want to get more money, put it this way, you almost always get more money over the phone. Because you can hear the tonality, you can hear the emotions. Like you could do so much more. So knowing that, and it's okay, because Seafood is an ambivert. If you're an introvert, you're not comfortable being on the phone. That's okay, perfectly fine. All these LinkedIn, all these strategies I'm sharing with you, they all work without getting on the phone. But you will see that when you get to a certain level, the bigger deals is all either done through person on the phone. Like when you're asking for some serious money, right? James is asking, what do you think about creating an application funnel for yourself? You could. It's not part of what Steve is teaching you. I think that's more advanced, but you could. But you don't need it to really to make six figure, right? But you could. It's one of the more advanced strategy if you want to play around with that and set up a funnel and do all that stuff, because it creates more stuff, right? Then you got to build a funnel, you got to build an email list, which is fine. And then you got to drive traffic to it, and then organic or paid. And then who's going to do that for you? You're going to spend money, right? Then when you get them the application, you still got to get them on the phone. You still got to close. It requires more skills. Not that it cannot be done. It definitely could be done. But it just requires more skills, right? It's not the funnel. The funnel itself is just a funnel, right? Sifu, apart from your own ads, do you have a big Facebook swipe file? I do. It is called Facebook Ad Library. But if you search Facebook Ad Library, all the ads on Facebook are archived on there. that is the biggest library in the world, right? Which I'll go into a little bit more, right? Later weeks when you do your research, you want to see what other people are doing. You can see it, right? All right. Strategy number 4. No, Facebook ad library. Yeah. Just type Google. You'll find it. Use Twitter to reverse engineer online writing jobs. This is fucking cool. So pay attention to this. Okay. How many of you have heard of Twitter? Okay. There's a feature on Twitter. And you can go to the link, twitter.com, search -advanced. And you could type in the exact phrase. You can reverse engineer online writing jobs. So in this case, see, we just type in copywriter's job. You can type in copywriting job, writing job, writer wanted, copywriter wanted, and boom, you would see a list of all the posts that people uses that. And then when you click on latest, it would tell you, look at this. I just typed this in, right? Copywriting job vacancy. Marketing copywriter, this position is part-time or full-time and based in London, right? Just search for that, boom. You will see it. And you could type in copywriting job, copywriting, no space, job, copywriter wanted, writer wanted, gig. And you can test different combinations. Oh, but Seafood, I don't like to use social media, you know. I'm not good with social media stuff. Jesus Christ. Can you see how not using social media is holding you back? It pays to know these things. We need to know these things. Not how much we know in the past, is how fast we learned, right? So reverse engineer on Twitter. You can find all kinds of gigs, all kinds of jobs right there. Then all you need to do is just contact them. Who likes that neat little trick? Is that a cool strategy or what? Very cool. Strategy number 5. You want to check out the agency job postings. Now remember, one of the ways we could get paid is writing for agency. Writing for agency. Now, quick test here. Why do we want to choose agency as clients? Let's see if you remember why. They have a lot of gigs. You can charge a retainer, good. They have many clients, good. Long-term, one client model. They know about the industry. You don't have to worry about closing, yes. You still have to close the agency, but the agency would close all those clients for you, right? Nice, good. So always remember that, yes, digital agencies are some of the best sources for clients. They need copy constantly for ads, for content, right? Always. So see, we just did a simple search. Took me like 2 minutes. I found this agency here, right? A simple agency with a group, right? You can see a little, group of people, right? Not too big, not too small. Kind of good. When you go to an agency website, by the way, here's where to look. You want to look, I scroll down to the very bottom. You want to look somewhere talking about careers. Careers. Could be like, join our team, right? But you want to look for one of those tabs. In this case, literally it took me 5 minutes. I click on careers, and guess what I saw? 6P Marketing is searching, right? I like that, for a perfectly polished and persuasive, a crafter, right? Of perfectly polished and persuasive sentences. Awesome. I'm like, okay, looking for copywriters. That's cool. So if I want to, I'm like, okay, here's a gig. But here's the thing though. the next question you have for me is, well, Sifu, how do I find all these agencies? Sifu, how do I find all these agencies? Well, there's a secret search engine out there that requires a very hefty monthly fee, that requires a secret password that is only limited to a certain amount of people, that not everybody can use, right? It's a very secret search engine called Google. You fucking Google it. Or as Big Dan like to say, you Google fuck it. You type in digital marketing agency. Digital agency. Could be your city, could be not your city. If you want to start with the city, it doesn't matter. There you go. And in this case, I type in, well, how many results do you see, by the way? How many results? Yeah, only 1.5 billion. 1.5 billion. I think it's going to take you a while before you run out of people to talk to. Like, do you see how big the market is? It's ridiculous how big the market is. If Google, if you can't handle Google, well, see, even Google is too much. It's too much. It's too much information. 1.5 billion. There's an institute out there called Content Marketing Institute. They have a directory for fucking agency. I'm giving you the link. They list thousands and thousands and thousands of digital marketing agencies directly in the directory. Is that good? Can you handle that? Can you do a search? Oh, but Sifu, like content, this URL is too long to type. Like you're making it's hard if it's like, it's got 3 words and it's got like / and directory and then another / and categories and other / agencies. Shit. How about a shorter one? Can you handle HubSpot.com / agencies? HubSpot is the software that we use to run our business. They certify digital agencies. And digital agencies use HubSpot to run the business. And you can click and you will see the levels they are at, right? The type of industries they are at. HubSpot has a ton of them. A ton of them. And you could see the ones that are good. You can see how, like, they're working with a lot of clients. You can see the testimonials. That tells you, it gives you a rough idea. How much, right? How much copy you think they might need. And there's another company, also by a friend of mine, Ryan Dice, right? Digital Marketer. Digital Marketer certifies and trains agencies. And by the way, you go to their website, you don't need an email, you don't need to log in. You click on DM partners underneath, you will find their directory. This is can you see how this is ridiculously simple? Can you see why Sifu is like, there's zero tolerance when my mentees tell me, oh, Sifu, I don't know where to find gigs. There's so many fucking gigs, I don't know which one to do.
Sifu, this is, I remember one of the first phrases you always used to say to me, it's like, Desmond, it's never a lack of resources, it's always a lack of resourcefulness. And it's just doing the thinking, things like this, right?
It doesn't even require thinking. You need 2 clicks. You go to a digital marketer, Scroll down, like click. He's a directory. It's like, what's the old saying? Like shooting fish in a barrel. Like, it's crazy. Thousands and thousands and these are just some examples. And I'm certain when you go to that secret search engine, you type in digital agency directory, you'll find something. There are tens of millions of them out there, digital agencies. So if you don't want to use the LinkedIn strategy, right? Just like Sheila is not in a position to use that, use this. Use the freelancing sites. Use the job board. You can go get them. And how many do you need, by the way? How many do you need? One. Like some of these ones, you could tell the good one. Now, you could tell you have the platinum level, gold level, and silver level. Here's a tip. Don't go to the platinum level yet. Go practice with the silver level. Practice with that, and then you go pitch the platinum level. In case you can't close on the phone, you fuck it up. Better to do with a silver partner first, right? And here's another tip. Who wants a bonus tip? Who wants a little bonus tip? Okay, write this down. This is one of those mic drop moment. Okay, if I was you, see who would go to the silver level partner, close a few deals, do some deals there first. Then when I do, I would get a few testimonials from the silver level partner or the gold level. Then I will leverage those testimonials. When I talk to the platinum level partner, I would say I'm already working with a number of agencies within the DM partner directory. And here's what they have to say. But now I kind of want to focus and just have one exclusive agency that I want to serve. Is that you? That's how I would pitch the platinum. And then right there, I've got to retain a deal. Like they're like, yeah, I don't want you to be working. I'm a platinum level. I don't want you working with a bunch of like small fish. Work with me, right? Oh, okay. Then let's talk about compensation, how that would work, right? Well, if you want me exclusively, that means I don't take on any clients. It's going to be this per month plus whatever, right? Next question that you might have, which leads to the next strategy, right? Even though their websites may be in a career that it doesn't say that they're looking for somebody when you go into the agency sites, that they may not have a job position active, saying they're looking for copywriters or writers. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, they're looking for them constantly. They're always looking. Just because they're not posting, it doesn't mean they're not looking. You getting this? Just because you don't have a profile on a dating site doesn't mean you're not single, you're not looking. You may not just have time. You're hand copying sales letters. Don't have time to write a dating profile. Not in the 7 weeks anyway. Right? But doesn't mean when the right opportunity presents itself, you cannot go on a date. It's the same thing here. They might be too fucking busy to post anything. And when you ask the right way, probably the XTC way, you'll be like, oh my God, thank God. We've been looking for a writer. We've been looking to scale our ads for our clients. We don't have time. We tried different people. They all suck. So happy that you contact us, right? We don't even have time to post an ad. Don't be surprised, especially if they're growing. And if they're not looking right now, isn't it a good idea to have that, to kind of have that initial contact, establish the relationship? So maybe they need a copywriter a 6 months, 3 months, a year, or 1 month. And if you have dialogues and conversations with these different agencies, now you're building that pipeline, and you don't need a lot. Now, when they all need you, now you create that, what I call that buying frenzy, right? Now you are in demand. When you're in demand, you're in command. That means you can command the prices that you want. Strategy number 6, then you co-email these potential clients. You co-email these potential clients. Not the way that most people do it. Most people, they don't actually co-email, they spam. See if is it possible to close in chat instead on the call? Yes. You can close in the chat. You can close the email. It's not an issue. I'll say that one more time. But you will get more money on the phone. Right? So if you're an introvert, you're not comfortable closing. And by the way, closing is a learnable skill. And you don't have to learn it. But knowing you will always get more money over the phone, period. Period. But it will not stop you from closing anybody. Just close them in chat. I've closed a lot of deals in chat, in email. That's fine. Right? That's fine. Don't avoid it because you're scared of it. Treat it like a skill, a learnable skill. See if I wasn't born a copywriter. I wasn't born a closer. All these skills I develop. I want a high income skill. I want a skill set that generates high income for me and my family. I want you to have high income skill that generates income for you and your family. I don't want to let that hold me back. Can you imagine if I was in my 20s and I say I'm not a writer and I didn't learn copywriting? Well, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. And I say, well, I didn't want to learn closing. I'm shy, right? I speak broken English, so I can't close. Well, I can't. What if I say, well, you know what? I'm not comfortable speaking to a group of people. Well, then for sure there will be no class. There will be no speaking. There will be no YouTube. There will be no social media. Every single thing that I've done, I've learned. So you see how many opportunities when you have that lower self, when you say, well, I'm not comfortable with that kind of do, you're dancing around it. Versus you let your abilities dictate your goals. I let my goals to tell me what ability I need to fucking develop to get to that goal. That's the difference. I do not let what I don't know hold me back. What I'm not comfortable with hold me back. I look at that's what I need to do. Who do I need to be to get that? Then I go get it. And I did it all my life. Then I figure it out. And I made mistakes, a lot of mistakes. Because if you always let what you don't know hold you back, you will not grow. You just won't grow. Because human beings, we like to stay within our comfort zone. We do not like to do things that makes us feel uncomfortable. Wouldn't you agree? We don't like to do things that makes us feel uncomfortable. We like to stay in a long little comfortable bubble. But instead, it's, you know what? I want this kind of lifestyle. I want to be able to provide for my family. I want to have the fucking confidence. Doesn't matter in print, doesn't matter in person, doesn't matter on stage. I could communicate. I could command a room. I could hold people's attention. I want that ability. How do I get that? Not, well, it's not who I am. And can I do it the other way? You know, can I just text? You know, can I just, yeah, you know, use emoji to close sales? Because that's what you're telling me. That's some tough love, right? Some tough love. Can Sifu push you? Do I have permission to push you? This is not one of those mentorship where, oh yeah, it's okay. Like, it's okay. You don't have to. I'm like, fuck it, man. Like, do something. Get off your ass. Learn something new. Read a book. Hand copy. Yeah, it hurts. Can copy. Right? It's like, it's exactly check it on, check it off. Right? As a mentor, I need to push you. Because everybody else in your life saying it's okay. Oh yeah, you're not comfortable. It's okay. Fuck that okay. It's not okay. Pick up the fucking phone. Call. Pick up the phone. Call. You suck. Do it again. You lost a sale. Do it again. Nope, not good. Do it again. To me, that's mentorship. A mentor makes you do what you don't want to fucking do so you can become who you say you want to be. So when you feel like uncomfortable about something, like, oh, I don't know, fucking do it. And you would regret how much money you will be leaving on the table because you didn't have that skill set. Especially when you do it long term, like, fuck, I could have gotten another 2-3K out of that deal. But because on email and this and that, because in email, you cannot hear that. That's why it's high ticket closing. Why, when it comes to high ticket, like prices and product and services, we need to get people on the phone. Why can't we? Yeah, a couple grand, sure. But when you're getting into tens of thousands, it's a lot harder. It's just a lot harder because for people to invest their money to hire you, they want to hear that you, like, they want to hear you a little bit. It's normal. It's normal, especially nowadays. Right? Especially nowadays. Like when we, so example, right? When we're looking at companies to invest and buy, we contact them through LinkedIn. We contact them through email, right? After a little bit of back and forth, this and that, guess what's the next step? When we're talking business, you get them on the phone. You get them on Zoom. I look at them, they look at me, right? And we talk. And after the Zoom, guess what's next? In person, right? The CEO flying in. Actually, he is flying in a couple of weeks. Now we go through the due diligence, the numbers. Now we're talking. That's how big deals are done. That's how big deals are done. So I could say, well, I only want to email back and forth. Well, then don't do the deal. Right? Then don't do the deal. So when you're co-emailing, here's some rules. Okay. Don't try to pitch in the email. That's not what you want to do. Don't. I've seen copywriters. They list like a menu of services, the price in the fucking email. Like, I want to choke somebody. Like, oh, here's what I charge. Landing page I charge this. Email I charge this. Chatbot I charge this. Like, Jesus Christ, right? What is this? Like, don't. And don't try to spam, and don't try to use a cookie cutter approach, meaning you just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Don't use sir, madam, first name. First name. Okay. And don't talk about how amazing you are. They don't give a shit. They care about, can you solve the problems? Can you help them grow the business? Right. Now I'm gonna share an email with you. I'm always very hesitant to share template that you can use. Because the problem is, I know some students, not all, you're gonna use it word for word. You're gonna copy and paste this shit. When I don't want you to copy and paste this shit. I want you to get the principle, because whenever you're using a script, the problem is it's not you. You're not using your voice. It needs to be you. You just need to get the gist of it. You got to get an idea, right? Kind of the structure of it, but you got to make it your own, right? But for I know, the HIC, right? My mentees who are taking a little bit of that shortcut mentality, right? You use it word for word. Word for word. You don't even change the fucking first name. The first name is supposed to be their first name. No, just fucking copy and paste, like bracket first name, and you send out the email. No joke. So I'm going to give you an example. But you got to make me a promise. What's the promise? Don't copy and paste. Right? You can modify it. I like modify slightly, awesome. Seafood encourages all of that, 100% supportive. Okay. But modify it for your own voice, depends on, and it depends on who you're sending it to. So I'm going to share this first version with you. And this is sending to people who would know what a copywriter is. When I say they know what a copywriter is, meaning they have a high level of awareness in the marketplace. Right? It's called buyer awareness. Write this down, right? Buyer awareness. So they have a high level of buyer awareness. They know what copywriter is. They know why they need a copywriter. And here is, now this is very well done. This is actually by my copy chief, Russ, who wrote this. I asked him to write this to teach you. Because I know if I don't give you an example, you're gonna fuck it up. So I need to give you an example. So I purposely asked him to kind of craft this for you, right, to help you out. I'm going to read it. And then I'm going to also dissect it a bit for you, okay? The subject line. What do you see? On the left side, it started with the left side, right? Why you shouldn't turf this email. Okay? My guess is that you get a lot of email pitches. And many of them come from copywriters like me. But I think you'll find this one refreshingly different. You see, most copywriters probably make you one of two offers. One, to write for you for a fee. Two, to write something for you, no charge, to get the foot in the door. How do you know? The problem with number one is obvious. You're risking money. The problem with number two is not as obvious with most copywriters. Even if a copywriter works for free, you're risking time. The time it takes to settle on a test project, give the copywriter background, etc., etc. Both are risk you may not be willing to take. This is why I'm writing to you with a third alternative. I've already written an email for you. Why an email? Because it's small enough that it limits risk on both sides, right? It will take you under a minute to read. Anyway, the email is ready to go. So let's say I send it to you. On the one hand, you may hate it. If that's the case, simply ignore it. If I don't hear back, I'll know you didn't like it. Next to no time wasted. On the other hand, if you love the email, feel free to run it. If it works, you'll want to work together. If not, you're not out anything. It's probably obvious, But idea here is that I want to show you what I can do, but I also want to completely minimize the risk on your end. What do you say? May I show you the email I wrote for you? P.S. Hopefully this email also demonstrates to you that I know how to craft a unique offer. Is this a very different idea of what you may be thinking of sending to a prospect? If Sifu didn't give you this example, what you were going to write on your own to cold email somebody. Could you see that? By the way, there's a lot of psychology in a short email like this. There's a lot of things going on here, right? There's a lot of things that are going on here. It's entering the conversation that's going on in the prospect's mind. It's handling the objection before it even comes up. It's got curiosity. It's got a very clear call to action. It's got a no risk offer without hype. It's got to take away. If I don't hear back, that's okay. No time wasted. It respects their time, but without coming across you're begging for the business. It demonstrates how good you are. How many of you would love to get so good at high income copywriting you can write something like this in 10 minutes? Is that a superpower? Yeah. And it is learnable. It is a learnable skill. It's a learnable skill. But you see how a same email that you see people send out, one would get no response, one would get an actual response from people. And that's that delicate balance. You're not promising crazy things. You're not asking. See, a lot of copywriters, they don't understand the fine line. Now they try, oh, let me, my thing is going to make you a bunch of money and this and that. No, it's too quick. You're too eager. It's like dating. I'm going to buy you flowers. I'm going to buy you jewelry. No. Let's go on a date and have a coffee. See if we like each other. Right? And if it doesn't work, just be friends. And if you don't like me, you can sneak to the bathroom and just go home. I don't take it personally. I'll still have a good time here. It's all closing, isn't it? It's all closing. You're not at close, you will not have a problem getting a date. Seriously. You will not have a problem getting a date. So that's version number one, right? Version number one. Here's version number two. Here's what you send to the people who don't know what a copywriter is, people who are at the lower level of the buyer awareness. Okay, so here we go. Same subject line. Very similar. Hi, first name, right? My guess is that you get a lot of people pitching you their services, and many of them come from writers like me. But I think you'll find this one refreshingly different. You see, I've been watching the emails that you put out. And while I think they're great, I think can help you get even better results. See, right there, pause for a second. A lot of writers, and I get those emails too. You send emails to people telling them their stuff sucks. No one likes to hear their stuff sucks. even though their stuff does suck, you're attacking them. Like, oh, I think your emails suck. I think I can make it better. No, I think wow, I think they're great. But I think I could help you get even better results. Oh, who doesn't want better results? No, you know what? I've been getting emails, man. It's got no call to action. I think your landing page, I don't like your headline. I think your email sequence sucks, right? I think this and that. How about give me some money and hire me? I can fix this problem for you. They say, fuck you. Mentally. Right? But I don't want you to take my word for it. Instead, I've already written an email for you. So let's say I send it to you. On the one hand, you may hate it. If that's the case, simply ignore it. By the way, that's a copywriting technique right there. ... If that's the case, ... Simply ignore it. So from a tonality in copywriting perspective, use a comma. I'll read it like a comma, okay? If that's the case, simply ignore it. If that's the case, ... Simply ignore it. You see a difference? That's the difference between a comma and ... Okay, we're not going to the future classes on like dissecting stuff and email, all that. I see it. So I want to share that with you, right? If I don't hear back, comma, I'll know you didn't like it. Next to no time wasted. On the other hand, if you love the email, feel free to run it. The psychology there also, why we didn't use, on the other hand, if you like the email. We use if you love the email. So if you didn't like it, less emotion. On the other hand, if you love the email, more emotion. We're already suggesting that they'll love it. Feel free to run it. If it works, you may not. It's not saying if it works, call me. Let's work together. No, you may want to do some work together. You see, it's not, you may want to hire me full time. You may just want to do some work together. It's very casual. No commitment. Easy to say yes, right? If not, you're not out anything. The idea here is that I want to show you what I can do. Again, but I want to completely minimize the risk on your end. What do you say? You see, it's very casual. What do you say? Right? It's like, hey, what do you say? May I show the email I wrote for you? When they say yes to that, that's a small commitment. Robert Cialdini, influence, right? Small commitment leads to bigger commitment. They say yes to that. They reply, small commitment. You show them the email, second commitment, you get them the phone, third commitment, you get them, you close the sale. You close the sale. Right? So both are good. Both are good. Again, don't use this word for word. See if it's trying to teach you a lesson. Felix, is it better for us to write email sequence for them instead of just one? Yeah, after they pay you, yes. Not before they pay you. Because when we're doing cold emails, we're doing it to a bunch of prospects. I don't want to write an email sequence for all of them, unless it's a very special person. Like that client's worth a lot. Right? Otherwise, yeah, if one email is not working, 5 emails don't help. Right? But if it's like a very special like client that you know it's very, very important, and you know, they actually need a sequence, that would be the only exception. Only exception. Right? So let's do a role play. Let's close the deal. Let's close the deal. Actually, you know what? It would be nice. Des, can you be the prospect? Okay, I'll have Des be the prospect.
Okay, got it, Sifu.
And how about let's get someone from HIC who have not gone through HTC. Okay, you're in HIC, you have not gone through HTC, right? You have not gone through the closing training. I need a brave soul. I need a brave soul. Now make sure that you have good audio, no noise in the background. Okay, clear audio. You're gonna role play. This is one of the very few rare incidents you actually get some coaching directly from me. Okay, so that's your reward for being the brave soul. Okay, and you cannot get it wrong because you have not gone through HTC. You will not be able to. You will not do it like very well and perfectly. That's not the purpose. I just want you to just do your best, right? So then I could show the difference when I do teach. So put up your hand in Zoom. You have not gone through HTC. You have not gone through HTC. Okay. Let's pick a lady if we could.
All right, let's see. I see Sarah Barchout.
Sarah?
Sarah, you can unmute yourself.
Yes.
All right, Sarah.
Hello.
Are you nervous?
Very.
Okay, don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. Don't feel like forget there are like hundreds of people. There's no just you and Desmond, right?
Okay.
And I'm just sitting on the side. I will be taking notes right now. I'll give you some feedback afterwards. So Sarah, I want you to imagine now you've already gone through the email, the prospect kind of exactly like this. You send out the email. They like the email a lot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now they want to talk to you. They want to hire you, and you're now on the phone with them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you will be selling them, let's say, whatever you're comfortable with. Could be a bundle service like 5-10 emails or a retainer. Either one, whatever you're comfortable with. And Desmond would be the business owner. Okay. So go for it.
Hello, is this
Hi,
Sarah?
Desmond.
Hi,
Yes.
Sarah. Yeah, it's good to connect with you.
Really
That's
good.
yeah, that was a pretty impressive email you wrote. Yeah, I'm calling you back because when you first reached out to me, you said to try it out, so we did,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, actually the response was actually pretty good. The open rate and the click-through rate was pretty good. How long have you been a copywriter?
Actually, you're my first client. Is that an issue?
I'm sorry, what's that? Your first client?
Yes.
I'm your first client?
Yes, you are.
Oh, really? Well, I haven't hired you yet, but okay. Well, I guess you got some skills. Where did you learn your copywriting skills from?
From a very good mentor.
Really? Who'd you learn from? Was it anyone I know or anyone you don't mind sharing with?
Actually, Dan Locke.
Dan Locke. Why does that name sound so familiar? Yeah.
He's a phenomenal person.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I must have seen some of his stuff somewhere. He's not part of Dan Kennedy's group or anything like that, is he?
No.
Okay. Okay. So Sarah, how does it work? I mean, obviously, I guess you're pretty new, so but you've got some skills. I'll be very honest here. I'm interviewing several other copywriters as well, but yours definitely caught my eye because I guess it definitely works. So I just want to know whether or not what you're writing is not a fluke. If you can write more email sequences like that. We're running an evergreen webinar that we need to we want to split test and try out some emails to see if we can get better open rates, better click-through rates, and obviously once they enter the funnel, we'd like to see them purchasing more, right? So are you up for the challenge?
Definitely. So, from what I understand, you need an email sequence, correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, and you love the email I sent you, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. Do you have much experience writing in the health niche space? I mean, you seem to hit it right on that one email. Do you study or do you is it a hobby of yours or something?
It's a very interesting knowledge base for me. Yes.
Got it. Okay. How do you charge? Are you charging per word, per email? How do you charge?
Actually, per email sequence. So you just said that you would need a bundle, if I'm not wrong.
I'm sorry,
And
I couldn't hear you clearly. Was that we need a I didn't hear the word you said. Is it bundle or
an,
something?
an email bundle. Yeah,
Yeah, like I need about 10 emails to be written.
perfect. So I charge per bundle. We 3, 10, like you said. So basically, per email, it would be about $150 per email. But if it's a bundle, it will go to 125.
Ooh, okay. I was looking at someone on Fiverr that was able to do it for about, I think, $50 per email.
Mm-hmm.
And considering that you maybe you're not that experienced. Um, what about I give you, if you can lower your price, give me a discount. Um, on this first one, if it works out, I'm willing to probably see if I'll pay you a little bit more for the second round. But it's got to
So you
produce
said you were
results.
looking at someone at Fiverr, yeah? Why haven't you approached them instead of me?
The people on Fiverr, it's like, I've gone through probably about 20, 30 of them. I don't even know if English is their mother language and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So, I'll be honest, I don't mind using the
Mm-hmm.
Fiverr one this time, but because
Mm-hmm.
yours produced a bit of results, I'm thinking about, giving you a shot. What do you say?
So, so mine produced better results. Aren't you willing to pay more for that?
Well, it depends. I mean, you are, pretty new, so, if you can prove to me that you can get more results again, then yeah, I'll be fair and I'll be happy to, we can talk about it at that time. And I know you got to make money too as well, right? We're all in business, so,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
it's a big risk for me. You got to understand, it's a big risk. If these emails don't go out correctly, then my reputation also gets tarnished.
Correct, but I can't see how 100 emails, with 10 emails is about what, $1,250?
Yep. And I
Uh,
don't know whether or not, if I spend that, I'm gonna be risking my money and then also the time, and also, like you said, right? The
but that's not much, correct? It's just 10 emails. You've liked my response rate from the first email. So can you imagine 10 more emails of that response rate or even a bigger response rate? And imagine getting 10 times what you're paying me.
Yeah, I hope that's what we're gonna get, but I don't know, right? You just wrote me one email, so I don't know if it's a
Mm-hmm.
fluke. Maybe you just got lucky. If you
Mm-hmm.
can prove to me that you can repeat that again, I'm happy to pay you the prices. But look, if you're not willing to go down, that's also okay. I just thought I'd reach out because you did catch my attention at first. But if
Mm-hmm.
I respect that, if you're not going to lower your price, then maybe this is not. I might have to just check around and give you a call back or something.
So how about this? You said you want 10 emails and I said 125. How about I throw in an extra 2 emails and we check how that goes? So that means we're not really doing a discount, but more of a preferred offer.
Okay, well, you're driving a hard bargain here. I do
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that you're offering the extra 2 emails. Again, it's my reputation that's at risk here. How about this?
Mm-hmm.
Um, how many revisions? If I don't like the email, how many revisions would you do? Like, say for
2.
example, you two revisions. Okay.
Yes.
Um, how about this? I'll pay you half, okay, for each of the emails, and then we're going to launch those emails. And if it produces results and it beats, the existing current conversion rates, I'll give you your full rate. I'll give you the 125. So I'll pay you the second half. But if it doesn't give me,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't produce the results, then I just pay you the half, and at least you're not losing money. How's that?
Um, so let's
So
see,
what was it?
you're
What's
saying,
125 divided by 2, right?
yeah, so that would be half of that,
Yeah,
about,
something like
let me guess,
$67 and $67 and
about,
50 cents.
so we're halving the email. Um,
Yeah, so you write the emails first. I'll pay you up front. I'll pay you half up front, and then you deliver the emails, and
mm-hmm.
then we're gonna run it and we're gonna test it. And if it doesn't produce results, you write a revision, 2 revisions if we need to. And if it still doesn't produce results, then I don't pay you anymore for each email. But if it produces results, the emails that produce results, I'll pay you the 120. I'll pay you the extra, the second part of the price, and then you get your 125 altogether.
So you're saying 10 emails up front, half price. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
And
yeah,
if
10,
they
but you,
produce
you
results.
Yeah, and you said you'd throw in the extra 2, right? So it'd be 12 emails.
Actually, the extra 2 and no price cut in the beginning. But you're going for a half price 10 emails, correct?
Yeah, I'm going for a half price to protect myself, the risk, right? I'm charging
Mm-hmm.
half price. I'm going to give you
Mm-hmm.
cash up front, right? I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to run away on, me, and I can't find you. I don't know what country you're in, right? I don't know if you're going to deliver a good result. So when your emails produce results, I will pay you the second half.
So how about this? We run 6 emails, see the rates, half price. So you would give me half that. So half the emails, see the rate, you pay me half and see how it goes.
6 emails? Yeah, I guess 6 emails
Yeah.
first. I'll still pay you half. So
Yeah.
let's get a calculate out here, right? So you're asking me
Mm-hmm.
125 per email, right?
Yeah.
So you take
Mm-hmm.
125, you divide in half, right? Divide by 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's $62.50. So I'm going to pay you $62.50 times 6, right? That's $375 I'm going to pay you now. And you're going to
Mm-hmm.
deliver me 6 emails, and I'm going to run those emails. If those
Mm-hmm.
emails can, we'll measure it against my emails. If it can have more open rate, more click-through rate than my emails, I will give you another 375. If those emails cannot, you're done at that point. It's 375 and that's it, right? Then I don't
Mm-hmm.
risk losing, double that amount. I don't risk losing $750. Does that sound fair?
Sounds good.
All right. Well, do you mind if I ask where are you located?
Bahrain.
The Hague? Okay. And I'm in the West Coast. Is that okay? How long would it take you to write those emails? We need them pretty quick.
So what's your timeline?
Well, how fast can you write them?
So tell me your timeline. Tell me your timeline and I'll tell you how fast.
6 emails. If it was myself, I'd crank it out in 72 hours maximum.
72 hours for 6 emails.
Yep. Well thought through, research done, everything
With
else.
revision?
I'm sorry, say again?
With revision?
No, that's, just if I had to start a project brand new, I do all my research, I'd give myself 72 hours. I can probably do it faster, but I give myself 72 hours.
Okay, and you are at what level of copywriting?
I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I
Uh-huh.
definitely learned, I read a lot of books, took a lot of courses. I had a mentor, a
Wonderful.
boss before that was pretty good at also copywriting. I think I picked up a lot of skills from him.
Okay, let's say the 6 emails, 4 days, all.
I'm sorry, what was that? You cut off. I heard just 6 emails, 4 days.
In 4 days, yeah,
4 days, so you can't do it in 72 hours?
4 days.
4
I
days.
try my
Okay.
best, but 4 days it is.
Okay, so 4 days it is. Okay, so and how should I pay you? PayPal, credit card?
PayPal. So after this call, I'll send you my details and you can bill it there and we can start the emails once that's done.
Okay. Do you need any information from me? Do you need, like, what do you need from me to get started? You'll send me all that information by email?
Yes.
Okay, you got it. Okay, well, good luck, Sarah. It's good to connect with you. Hopefully your other 6 emails can do like what you did on the first one, and if it is, then we've got more work for you. Okay.
It will, and you will be happy.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Well, round of applause put in the chat. Not easy against Desmond here. It's good. It's good. Sarah, how do you feel?
Um, nervous, but it was good.
Nervous? Yes. Yeah. Now, big lesson here also for all the students, right? Even Sarah didn't close perfectly. At the end of the day, right? She got a boom. She closed that sale. That's what matters, right? Yeah, a little bit of discount, a little bit of preferred rate, but she got the gig, right? Getting that first few gigs, that's the key. It doesn't have to be closing perfectly. And I could see a couple of HTC techniques in there, right? The Pfeiffer, right, which is good redirection, right? That's very well done. So understand this. You don't need to get it perfect. It's great. It's a good solid role play. And so I made some notes here, Sarah, okay? So in the beginning, it would be very nice if we could get some more. And I don't expect you to know these things because you haven't gone to HTC. But in closing, what we want to do is to quantify whatever we're talking about. So when he's saying, "Oh yeah, Sarah, your email worked pretty good," we want to know, what does that mean, right? How much that email has produced the revenue, because that gives you an idea of when we are kind of negotiating back and forth. I can always use that information that I've got in the beginning to be able to bring it up and close the deal afterwards, right? And also because Desmond is good, he's like redirection, negotiating, and really, I mean, because he's skilled, so he's a very tough opponent. So I think you handle yourself very, very well as a role play. So again, good job. A round of applause. Good job. Applause. Awesome. Now it's not easy, right? Sarah stepping up to do a role play in front of hundreds, right? Hundreds of people. It's not easy. Now, when it comes to role play, and I'll demonstrate with Desmond. So Des, I want you to do exactly the same thing. In fact, offer me exactly the same deal, like about the 6, half money, all that stuff, right? But we'll start at the very beginning, right? Same scenario. First thing I want to say is, as you listen to Seafood role play, do not, because here's the problem. When students hear me role play, sometimes it's a negative effect. It's, oh my God, how would I ever be that good, right? How would I ever be that skillful? Like you would feel the distance. So don't try to compare. Look, Sarah closed the deal without like Seafood's closing skill. You know what I mean? So you don't need that. But I want you to see the difference so that you know like what is possible, right? So just use it as a learning, right? It's just kind of compare and just almost enjoy it. I almost don't want you to learn it. Don't try to be like me. Just kind of sit back and like enjoy a movie, right? Enjoy the role play. Just have some fun, take some notes. Don't try to, oh my God, it's just gonna take me 10 years to be like that. It's gonna be, I'll never be like that good. And oh my God, it's just hard. Like, I don't want you to think that way. Deal? Okay. Yeah, just grab a popcorn, just enjoy. Okay, so same thing, Desmond and I, same deal. So, you'll hear the different techniques I'll be using. For my CC students, it would be very familiar, right? But you also hear how the key thing I want you to pay attention to is how I lead the conversation and also my tonality and the rhythm and pace, okay? Those are things I want you to pay attention to. So sit back, relax, right? Grab the popcorn. Here we go.
Hello, is this Dan?
This is Dan.
Hey, your voice sounds familiar. Are you that
Thank
Dan
you.
Lock? You're the Dan Lock guy?
Actually, I paused over. I cannot be Dan Lockett.
I know, I'm teasing you, Steve. I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pattern interrupt. Okay, no, we'll do it seriously now. Okay.
So I'll be. Well, I cannot be Sarah. I will be. Let me see. I'll think of a name. What's a good name? S of a man. Sam. How about be Sam?
Sam. Okay, Sam.
I'll be Sam. Okay, here we go.
Hello.
I'll be Sam. I'll be Sam Locke.
Sounds like Dan Locke, but Sam Locke.
Yeah, I Sam Locke. Trademark.
That's the Dan Sam Locke.
No, but I'm new too, so everything I'm new and all that. Okay.
Got it. Okay. Just pattern interrupt for everyone. Okay. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Is this
Sam?
Yeah. Hi, Sam. Yeah, you're the guy that sent me that email, right?
Hey, yeah. Is this Desmond?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Hey, Desmond.
Yeah.
By the way, how's those emails performing?
Well, it was good. I was I out of the blue. I don't normally check those emails. I get a lot of spam. You're right. But you caught my attention on your email, and then we tried it out, and it worked. The whatever you did worked because the open rate was better, the click-through rate was better. Do you mind if I ask?
When you say better, like what was the opening rate before?
Oh, well, before our open rate was probably about 43%.
Okay, that's good.
Your email.
That's very good.
79%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What about click-through rate?
Click-through rate, I mean, on average, we normally get around about like 3 to 5%.
Okay.
Yours was a solid 12%.
Mm-hmm. If you don't mind me asking, how much revenue that email produced for you?
Uh, well, it's kind of private, but I mean, we ran a webinar. I took a run with it. I purposely duped out the funnel and just ran it, and I would say ballpark range around about $23,000 in less than 72 hours.
So the email driving into a webinar and you pocketed 23K.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. And you're
Do
gonna
you
send
mind
me?
if I ask?
Are you gonna buy me lunch?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you wherever you are, I can do an Uber Eats or something. Happy to do that. Send something
I'm
your way.
holding you to it. I'm gonna send you my address.
Okay, okay.
But
Definitely do
seriously,
it.
how can I help?
Well, I mean, what's your background? Like, how'd you learn copywriting? I mean, you seem to know quite a bit about the industry. So,
Oh, thank you. Well, I kind of self-taught and I've taken some programs from different people and reading a lot of books, but I'm fascinated with words and I happen to love the industry that you're in. And I follow you actually. I'm a subscriber and I follow you on social
oh,
media.
yeah. Well, thank
And
you.
yeah, and I love what you do. And I thought to myself, you know what? I think I could help Desmond to even produce better results. And because I'm kind of a fan, so when I send out the email, and I didn't know if you're going to reply or not, but I'm happy to hear that email
I'll be
works
honest.
well
I
for you.
I don't normally reply. I get spammed a lot, right? But something. I mean,
Isn't that interesting? An email selling you an email.
and see. So that's the thing. If you caught my attention with your email, and I clicked and opened it, and I'm normally very skeptical.
Hmm.
So then, when I actually read through what you sent me, it worked. So, but I don't know whether it's just a fluke or not, right? I don't know whether or not
It could be. It could be. I don't know if it's fluke or not either, right?
you
But
didn't have anyone else write it for you, right?
no. I hope. I wish.
Okay.
No. But how can I help?
Well, I mean, I've been looking for some good copywriters, and I've been looking at Fiverr and different things like that.
Okay.
Just especially the email sequences. But as you know, like for our business, it's important. It's something that I should be taking myself out a bit, out of that part of the business. But I can't find someone good, and I normally have to outsource to like Fiverr or other places. Um,
Okay. So
so
so if it wasn't for that email that I wrote, who's writing the email right now?
myself, I'm doing
Okay.
most of the email writing myself,
But
right?
aren't you also doing the course, the webinar as well?
I do. I got to do pretty much everything. I'm like CMO. I'm also CEO.
Oh,
I'm also copywriter. And
ooh,
I've got to handle some operations. So yeah, my team's a little bit lean right now, and so
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So then, if you don't mind me asking, so those emails that, even you're busy, squeeze the time to write those emails, how do they work usually? Like how much they usually make you on average?
Well, I mean, on average, I would say probably about half that amount, if we're,
Mm,
running cold traffic to that webinar.
okay.
Um, and, warm traffic obviously is a little bit better. Cold
Mm,
traffic is a lot harder, as you know.
mhm.
So, and maybe even just slightly less than that, probably about
But you're
40%.
not looking to hire someone to write more emails, are you?
Well, I'm looking to give you a shot. I mean, like, if I thought maybe from the way you wrote, I thought maybe you're some, big copywriter that's been doing this for a while. So,
Mm,
but you remind me of me a bit, and you have to start somewhere, right? So, if you can write some decent emails, I probably give you more work.
okay. Okay. And how many emails we're talking about?
The email sequence I've set up right now is a 10 email sequence, right?
Okay.
If you can outdo that, if you can bring in more results, then yeah, you've got a job.
Because right now, how many emails you send out to your list on a, let's say, on a monthly basis now? Because I'm on your list, I get it maybe like 2 times a week, something like that.
Yeah, twice, sometimes 3 times when we're launching a campaign. But yeah, you're right. I don't want to bombard the list too much. It's twice a week.
Yes, yes. And sometimes I could, I hope you don't mind me being direct, but sometimes I could see some of those emails a little bit rush, right? Right.
No comment there.
Right. Okay. And so you're looking for 10 emails for like a sequence for this particular webinar.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And what
How,
happens after the 10 emails, after the sequence? Do you want to keep following up with the prospects, keep emailing the list, kind of build trust, or like what's the plan?
I haven't really thought of that. I mean, if it's, but I'm open. I'm open to trying something new.
Mm.
I always do split testing. So if you're a strategist and you come up with stuff like that, again, I I'm looking for someone who can, offer me solutions,
So
right?
so let me write this down. So the 10 emails you need is to drive them to the webinar, right?
Yes.
And what happens after the webinar? Let's say for the prospects who have watched the webinar that
Ah,
don't buy.
the follow-up sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we haven't even talked about that. Are
But
you
you have
able
that
to
already, right?
I do have something in place, and they always say, right, the money's in the follow-up. So
Yeah.
how good are you at writing follow-up emails?
I don't know if I'm good, but we can give it a shot.
Okay. So it's a little bit of a big risk here for me as well. I mean, I do split test stuff, but
Mhm.
I'm, nervous, right? That's why I was, about just giving
But
someone.
right now you're using what's the result so far with the follow-up sequence?
Follow-up sequence, we probably convert another 25, 30%, after the
Okay.
webinar.
Okay. What's your
It's not
goal?
too bad. Ideally, we want to convert at least 50%. It's always I think it's the sweet spot, right? You want to convert at least 50%, make it worth a while for the money we spent to acquire the leads.
Oh, and if we can bump it up to 50%, how much would that be worth?
Wow, if you can bump it to 50%, I'd be over the moon. Yeah.
Like how much would that be worth? Dollars and cents.
Mm, probably close to 20,000.
20,000.
Yep.
And if the front end, like you said, the first email that I wrote basically produced twice as much results, right?
Yep.
So if hypothetically, let's suppose we could continue to produce that result,
Yep.
let's say double
Yep.
on the front end, and then we can bump the back end to 50% from 35 to 50% total, how much would that be worth?
Wow, that's like easily over 40,000.
40,000?
Yeah.
Okay. And what happens to the people, let's say afterwards, that let's say they have registered for the webinar, but you know how a lot of people, they actually don't show up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the non-buyers. I'm talking about the no-show. Do you have an email sequence on that?
Right now, that's just a couple of reminders from schedule once and things like that for webinar. We don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you see that there might be an opportunity, some low-hanging fruit there?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't had the time to go into all those. You definitely do bring up a good point. Hey, you sure you haven't done this before? You sound really knowledgeable about what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I study a lot, right? I work with a couple clients, but I mean, this is, I'm quite new to this. And that's why I'm excited, working with someone like yourself who I'm familiar with your work. So I'm looking to put my skill to test.
Well, you remind me of myself. So, well, how do you charge? Like, are you charging per word, per email? How do you charge?
Well, for something like this, obviously, as a copywriter, if it's a kind of a bundle of services, let's say we're talking about just the 10, of course, it would be a little bit more. But if we're
Okay.
talking about the 10 plus the follow-up for the non-converted leads, as well as the no-show, then I could give you a preferred rate. Well, it depends on how many you need, really.
Wow, I mean, you certainly impressed me already from the first email and the way you're even speaking right now, but I've just been burned in the past, so
Yes.
I hope you understand, right? I'm sure
I get it.
you're a business person as well. So
Now, I'm gonna ask you a question, Desmond. The ones that have burned you, those copywriters, they didn't come from Fiverr, did they? I gotta ask.
Or something like that.
Okay.
No comment again, no comment.
All right. And I guess they kind of give you a very good rate, right?
Yeah. I'm getting most of the guy. Well, the last guy that did it, I don't even know if he spoke English as a first language. Not being racist or anything, but
yeah.
But I mean, it was like $50 per
Uh-huh.
email for
Yeah.
10 emails, right?
Yeah. And for me, like I'm not like the $50 kind of email kind of guy, right? But I'm not outrageous either. We're just talking about like 150 per email, really.
Ooh, okay. It's a little bit on the higher side than I expected.
Yeah. 3 times of what the Fiverr guy charges.
Yeah, and I mean, you gotta understand also. I think you're pretty new as well, right? You haven't really done this at all, right? For
well, let's pretend if like the second, third, fourth email, forget, like let's say the first one's a fluke, right? We double your results.
Yeah.
What if we only do half of that? Not double, but maybe just 50% better.
Yeah.
How much would that be worth?
Yeah,
Is that worth $150 an email? Or maybe not.
You sure you haven't done this before? You're pretty damn good.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, I'm an email writer. I'm a copywriter, right?
Okay.
I gotta make an offer you can't refuse.
I mean, I'm just trying to mitigate my risk here. So, can I pay you half up front first, and then?
That's. I mean, let's. Can we talk numbers? Can we talk like a business person?
Sure, sure.
Okay. The first email, I didn't charge a single dime, right?
Yeah.
That made you $23,000.
Yeah.
Kind of free money, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, let's say you and I, we never met, you never used the email, you would not have made that 23K. Is that a fair statement?
It's a fair statement. Now you're being unfair here, of
right?
course.
But it's your money, of course, and I don't want a piece of it. What I'm saying is, hey, you know what? Let me produce more results for you. Can we consider that 23K kind of like play money, like monopoly money?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Okay.
Right. And we're talking about, let's say 100, let's say with a follow-up, how many emails are we talking about? 30?
Yeah, about 30 altogether. Yeah.
Okay, let's say it's 150. We're talking about $4,500. Do you think, right? I know you're very savvy. Out of 23K, is it fair to take, let's say, $4,500 of that money and just invest in me, in my skills, so I can make you even more money?
Tough.
And if it doesn't work, you can fire me after 1 month. But the question is, what if it does work? How much more money I can make you?
It's true.
Tell me.
It's true. Can you take like 50% down first, and then we run the first set of emails?
And then you mean like to get the job started? And
I guess what I was trying to say is, I know the first email you sent me, that worked amazing, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But can you maybe, write the first sequence, right? I'll pay you half up front. Okay. So, I'll pay you $75 per email up front. And if your emails can easily, we'll split test it side by side with my emails. If they can outdo my emails, for any email that outdoes my email,
yes,
I'll give you the other additional 75 for that, for the other. And then for the other gigs, I'll just pay you the 150. But because I don't have the other follow-up sequences and stuff yet. So, the first 10, I just want to try out in the first 10 first. The first 10, if you can prove to me 75 up front first. If they beat my emails, I'll give you the other 75 to give you 150 per email.
So let me see if I understand this correctly. So you're proposing that you pay me half, and the other half, if it outperforms, those emails outperform what you're doing now, then I get the other half.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So 4,500 divided by 2 is, 2,250.
Yeah.
Okay. You might have a problem here.
Why is that?
That's because I think the first email, the reason that it works, not because I think I have more experience or understand your business more than you do, of course. It's not that. It's, I think, because I could get your voice.
Okay.
And it takes a lot to get, someone's voice. And to write that 30 emails, I want to go even more in depth. There's just a lot of investments in terms of time, right? And I know you're a fair guy, and I'm confident I could produce. But then I'm taking a pretty big risk, right? When I've already made you 23,000, which is fine, right? I take that risk, and we do the first few, like say, I do, because I need to do all the emails and deliver to you, right?
Yeah.
To run the whole thing and to get paid half. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah. Hey, I'm just trying to ask, right? So,
yeah.
So you're saying I got to pay all 4,500? I mean, I
I want to be super motivated. I really don't want the money get in the way. I want to do a phenomenal job for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know, just knowing myself, if I get half, just man, it's a little demotivating, man. It's just, and I already made you 23K, right? How about leave it at trust? You're risking 4,500
where did you say you are? Where are you located? Are you in North America?
Yeah, I'm in Vancouver, BC.
Oh, okay, not too far. I'm in Seattle. Okay. Well, that's good, I guess. You're not gonna run away on me or something. You don't have any references or anything like that, do you?
Desmond, the last thing I want is to run away with a few $1,000. My goal, why I send you the email in the first place, I want to have you as a client for long term.
Okay.
I'm looking to develop a long term relationship, because I know these emails are not the only thing that you need, right?
Yeah.
What else do you need?
Sales pages, landing pages.
Landing pages, sales pages.
Yep. You don't write blogs, do you? That's different, but
Content's a little bit different.
yeah.
But I
Okay.
think if I get your voice, I get your voice, right? Like,
Yeah.
how valuable would it be for a writer who gets your voice so that frees up your time so you can focus the more important things on the business? You don't need to, like, what if, let's say 30 days from now, you and I sit down, look at each other and say, hey, you can actually delegate all the writing aspect to me so you don't have to worry about it. How much would that be worth to your business? Forget the business. How much would it be worth to you personally?
Yeah, it's a lot. I got 2 kids, and instead of me staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning, I can actually get some sleep. And also maybe even spend some time with them after dinner. Yeah, it's important.
Okay. So what should we do?
Oh man, you convinced me. Okay, so
I'm not
sure.
convincing anything. I mean, I want you to do this because you want to do it. I don't want to convince you.
Well, just produce results like what you did the first time, and you
Then I
will have
will.
one happy customer. I'll write you testimonials. I'll give you lots of gigs. I'm happy to keep you. Yeah, we can talk more about. I've got lots of things I think that I need to. My mentor's been pushing me to get off from being in the business and work more on the business. So it would be very helpful if we can develop that long-term relationship.
Okay. And so the half down, like then half when it's completed on delivery, that's okay, right?
Fair enough.
Okay. And how do you make a commitment of this nature usually?
Do you take credit card, PayPal, wire transfer? I can do all of them.
Yeah, we could do PayPal. It's easy. I could send you a link afterwards, and I could send you a simple agreement paperwork. We can get that out of the way.
Okay. Do you need
Awesome.
any information from me? Do you need
Yes, I do. I think what we would do, Des, if you're available, let's get on the phone maybe tomorrow,
Okay.
right? I want to have a list. I kind of want to interview you a bit too about like the different funnels, different things that you have, right? So I get a full picture of everything that you work. And I probably want to go through. You can send me your webinar link. I want to go through it tonight before we talk tomorrow.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. We're connected on WhatsApp already, right? I just send it to you on LinkedIn. Which one do you want?
Yeah, I mean WhatsApp is fine.
Okay, I'll send it to you there, and then thank you. Okay, so, okay, yeah.
Well, take a deep breath, Desmond. It's an exciting thing.
It is. Let's all make some money together.
Let's do it.
All right.
Talk soon.
Congratulations. Bye.
All right. Okay. Off the role play. Good job, Des. Awesome. Tough negotiator, right? Put in the chat, what have you learned? Did you enjoy that little role play?
That Sifu's a fucking master. Kick my ass.
No, it's good. You did very, very well. So you could see where this is why I said, don't feel that you got to do that. Like, it's just like, sit back, relax, kick your feet up, and just enjoy it, right? But but can you see how that affects your income? So if I didn't have my closing skill, I would have made half the money, right? And that's what's your observation?
There were so many redirects there. Some that I've never even heard you use before. So there's some really good ones. I was like, wow, that's a good move. I was like, that's a good answer for. So very calm. You fluctuated. You broke the uncomfortable moments with some humor.
A little bit humor.
A little bit lighter mood. At the same time too, there were a couple of times I was about to ask you a question, but you still maintain control by asking me the question first. So, and that showed me that you were firm, that you were not going to let me just bulldoze over you.
And notice, even when we're negotiating, and Sarah, pay attention to this, when during the role play, when you were negotiating with Desmond, it felt like it's like across the table, right? It's like, yeah, you want that, but I don't want that. Like it's arguing with the prospect. Versus if we are closing, we're high tier closers, Desmond, we're on the same page, right? I'm working with him. I'm not working against him. I'm asking very fair question. It's like we're both trying to, how can we make this work, right? How can we make this a win-win, right? Our interests are aligned versus, well, you want that, but I don't really want that. And you want, I don't, this back and forth. We don't want that. We want, hey, And like it goes back to see how critical it is in the beginning. I find out how much I have produced.
You already
That
got me
number,
about the, yeah,
right?
you got me there.
Right, that 23K. I'm like, great. That's something I'm gonna use multiple, and I did multiple times when the objection comes up. I'm like, hey man, that's basically free money. And I'm not saying give me some of that. I'm just that's free money, man. Like, and Desmond's like, oh yeah, I guess it is fucking free money, right? So then he's thinking, well, out of the 23K I calculate, you pay me like 4,500. You still keeping a big chunk of that, right? Like, what have you got to lose? And even if I'm half as good of who I say I am, he knows with the follow-up sequence, he's gonna make more. And he knows the current in this like role play, that sequence is not very good. He knows that, right? So it's like, oh yeah, there has to be some money I'm leaving on the table. So he's thinking about that, right? So he knows he doesn't have a lot of risk, but as a good negotiator, he makes it, oh man, I'm taking a big risk on you, man. I don't know if you're any good, right? But he and I know, come on, man, right? You got the 23K, we're gonna do the sequence, you're gonna make more. Let's face it, right? So it's very, very critical to know these things. You also notice when I'm asking question, and this is where the business acumen comes in, right? The business acumen comes in. That you're asking questions that tells him you know what you're talking about. You know your shit.
You definitely got me on that one.
Right?
You know, yeah, that you fully knew. That would impress me, and I think probably that's the biggest tip for all the copywriters. I didn't even think that Sifu was a beginner anymore because he seemed so knowledgeable about, he was asking me things that I was not even. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. We need the follow-up sequence. Oh yeah, we're right. So it showed me that he had studied all the different components, not just I want to quickly get the 10 email gig and get out.
And more importantly, notice I did not exaggerate. I did not hype. Many times, oh, man, you got a lot of experience. No, I'm new. I never said, oh yeah, man, I got a lot. No, I'm new. So I want to demonstrate I do not need to exaggerate. I do not need to hide. I could disclose fully, right? I'm new. It's okay. So you can see Desmond is not uncomfortable, right? It's the way you say it. So don't let, oh, I don't have any, I don't have, you're new. I've only worked with a couple clients. I'm new to this. I just study a lot. It's great. You see, you don't need to exaggerate. You don't need to mix shit up. No, you don't need to do any of that. You just tell, hey, here's what's going on, right? And I tell him, they see the voice thing is also very powerful. I talk about the voice, the one client. What I've done is in this role play, I am planting the seed, write this down, for future business. Because getting an influence voice, remember our model, I want one client. I want him to know one client. So in this case, once I get the voice, then it's harder for him to, well, do I really want to go through this all over again? I want time with my kids, right? To train another copywriters and other damn copywriters from Fiverr that's not any good, who doesn't understand my offer, who doesn't understand my webinar, who doesn't understand my voice, right? Or I would rather pay not even a premium, but a fair price for someone who gets my voice, who I know I could count on this person getting those emails out, getting the landing page.